looking at some Dwarf Fortress. We're going to be looking at some new Dwarf Fortress. The newest update for Dwarf Fortress is released, and I've been kind of busy today, but I thought that we'd have a quick look at it and we'd be able to have a see what's changed and maybe play around with it a little bit. So the first thing I'm just going to do is I'm going to generate a world, and yeah, we'll be going into it straight away. Hey Anubis, welcome. How you doing, man? SBTV Doomer. Is it too late to knife you? Is the sound alright? It's not too loud, is it? I'm just going to turn it down a little bit. Right, okay, so I want to... okay, the first thing I want to do, actually, I'm going to go back. Do I want to design a world with parameters? Okay, yeah, you see this screen here. This is the advanced designer world parameters. Usually I wouldn't mess around with this too much, but I'm actually going to be setting some stuff up in this because I want to try and do something. I'm going to be going through this, and there's a reason why I'm doing this. Okay, number of secret types. No, that's not it. Yes. Allow all of that. Unless they changed the way that it used to work. I think they might have changed the way that it worked. Maximum drainage, minimum, volcanism, rain mesh size, savagery mesh size, just blah 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 blah. North and or south, titan numbers, number of demon types, number of werebeast curses, 26, werebeast attack, exported wealth requirements, number of secret types. We want to increase this as high as we can. I'm not sure what the max is, but we want to just have this one be as big as it can be. We just want this to, yeah, okay, in fact, I think we can just enter, yeah, 1000, that's as high as it can be. Okay, and we're going to back out, and then we're going to create a world. Yep, we're just going to start generating a large region. We're going to generate hopefully a big world, give it a little bit of time to tick over. This bit's going to take a little bit, but yeah, I'll kind of explain it as we go along. There we go. Running rivers, forming lakes. Okay, that region got rejected, so we have to go through the whole process again. It can take a little bit of time to generate a world that will satisfy the whatever algorithm that they use in order to generate these worlds. So, you know, we might be going through this a little bit, but we need to generate a world that meets the parameters that are set. And I mean, if it takes too long, we'll go and kind of review them and maybe twiddle with them a little bit. But yeah, it's something. It's something, all right. Okay, it seems to like this world. Hopefully this one will be stable. Man, I'm streaming too late at night. No one's going to show up for this. I think most people who watch tend to watch kind of earlier in the day, because it's like 11 o'clock at night in the UK. It's like 12 p.m. midnight in Europe. So I think a lot of people just won't be around to watch. But I wanted to get something out, and I wanted to mess around with it a little bit today, because it has just come out. They've updated Toadie's updated the game significantly. So the game's changed quite a bit. It's a fair bit different than it used to be. And we're gonna take a take a look at like how it's changed. Yeah, 6 p.m. for EST. It's kind of late. I don't know, kind of not that late, but you know, I wanted to get out there. You can see a shitload of people streaming this game as well. It's not a game that a lot of people usually stream, but this update has been kind of well anticipated. It's been quite heavily anticipated. It'll be a while before we can really play the game in earnest as well. We're not going to be able to really start, like, this isn't a new fortress, right? Well, we're going to make a new fortress, but it's going to be kind of like a temporary one. We're just gonna be messing around with some of the new features because one thing about this is that the fact that we've had a new update is broken all of the utilities that we use, and we do use a lot of utilities when we play it. Like there's a lot in Dwarf Fortress that is a real pain in the ass to handle. There's a lot of stuff in this game that's just a real nightmare to work with, and so you use these utilities like Dwarf Therapist is the obvious one. It's the one that we use a lot of, but also Dwarf Hack is another one that's useful. And these utilities help to make the game run a lot better, right? But because it's just been updated, all those utilities are broken, and we need to wait until people have time in order to update the utilities to the current version of Dwarf Fortress. In fact, I actually earlier today installed a graphics pack, so you can see that it's not all in ASCII. Like normally it would just be like numbers, right? You wouldn't have the graphics like we do. But I went and installed a new version of Dwarf Fortress, and then installed a graphics pack over the top of it. So we might even have some errors with the graphics pack. The other thing is as well is that this is the first release of this update, which means that there's the potential that we're going to have a lot of bugs. I'm going to give it a little bit more time to try and generate the world that I want it to generate. It might not be able to. ASCII, ASCII. I don't know. I don't play many games like that. I don't like. This is the only game that I play that's like an ASCII game. I've never been into like NetHack or anything like that. I've not played like I think the other one that a lot of people play is like CDDA, Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. I know plenty of people play that, but I'm not really into those sorts of games myself. Dwarf Fortress is a bit of an exception, but yeah, like I kind of get the idea. It's just yeah. I mean, I can play with the ASCII. That's fine. I've played it with ASCII before, but I prefer to play the graphics pack, especially when I'm streaming it, because I think it's easier to read and see what's going on. We're gonna let history play out. We're probably gonna wait until the year 250. I think will be a good year to start, and hopefully this world will have the exact sort of location that I'm looking for. I want to build a fortress next to a Necromancer Tower. We've done a lot of Necromancer Tower stuff already, right? Like in our current fortress, we are next to several Necromancer Towers. But I want to start this fortress next to a Necromancer Tower as well, because one of the things that's changed massively in this update is Necromancers and how towers interact and how towers work, which is kind of interesting. So we're currently letting history progress. We've had 104 years of history. I don't normally show this part on stream. Like I've done it, yeah, no, I've definitely shown like world generation on stream before, but I don't normally show this on stream. Okay, hopefully the game doesn't crash as well. The other thing is as well is that this release is probably not very stable, so there's also the possibility that it might crash, and we'll have to wait and see whether it does or doesn't. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Like it could crash. It could be uncooperative. It could be difficult, but hopefully it won't be. Hopefully it's just going to run smoothly, and we'll be able to manage with it. Hey Dennis, welcome. We're doing a late night stream. There's like no one here other than Anubis. But I want to play this game. I want to try it out myself, so. Dennis, don't you know? Have you not heard the news? We're starting a new fortress. This fortress will not be a permanent one. On Friday we'll continue with the old fortress that we were doing before. But the new update for Dwarf Fortress has landed. So this is actually the most recent updated version of Dwarf Fortress that we're playing. Today, the new update was released and it's changed several things about the game. There's now more content in the game, and we're going to have a look at that. So this is just going to be a temporary kind of fortress that we're going to set up, and we're just going to have a look at some stuff that's changed. We're not going to stick with this fortress in the long run because it's probably going to be buggy. I assume the update is not backwards compatible. No, generally speaking, you can. Generally speaking, you can just update your Dwarf Fortress files and then continue the old fortress on the old one. The only problem is that because you know when you're generating like world history, none of the new stuff will have been generated with history, right? So, for example, one thing that this game introduces like plots, like this update introduces villains who can plot various things and do like all sorts of nasty stuff in the world. But obviously, in our current save of Dwarf Fortress, none of that exists because none of it existed, right? Like it wasn't there when I generated the world. So when the time comes, we will be starting a new fortress on the new updates, but it won't be now. This is just kind of like a test fortress, I guess. The other reason why we're not sticking with this fortress, and it's very straightforward, is going to be incredibly buggy for about the first month because it's going to take Toadie, one, the developer of the game, a while to fix the bugs, and number two, it's going to be difficult to play because we're not going to have access to the utilities that we use. None of you have ever seen, I don't think, like unless you played Dwarf Fortress yourself and you played vanilla Dwarf Fortress, none of you have seen how you actually assign dwarves jobs, right? Like whenever you do it I do it on this stream, I load up Dwarf Therapist and then I use Dwarf Therapist to assign jobs instead of doing it through the Dwarf Fortress UI. There's a reason for that. The Dwarf Fortress UI for assigning jobs is fucking awful, which is why we don't use it. But because there's a new update, Dwarf Therapist isn't updated, which means it's not working with the current version of the game. So we can't use Dwarf Therapist at the moment, we can't use Dwarf Hack. Dwarf Hack is really useful, it kind of runs in the background. You don't see it very often when I stream, because I don't usually use it actively, but it runs in the background and it does a lot of things to make the game more optimal. So one thing it does is it will check and see whether any dwarves are stuck, and then kind of fix that. It checks and sees if there's too many dead things in the list of dead things, and then it'll delete all dead entities so that it doesn't like affect your performance and that kind of stuff. So yeah, the Age of Myth. Okay, I did want to leave the history running for a little bit longer. I'm going to wait until the year 200 and then we're going to pause history and we're going to enter the world. There's a reason as well why we're generating a lot of history. I want this world to be older than the worlds that we normally would because I want to make sure that there is at least one Necromancer tower in this world. We're going to be embarking next to Necromancers again. But one of the things that's changed with this update is Necromancers. Necromancers have changed significantly with this update. Well, not really Necromancers themselves, but they can do more things. They can do more interesting things than they used to be able to. So hopefully we'll be able to interact with that. But yeah, hey there Darkion, welcome. I did see you there. I hope everything's going alright with you. They changed that. They changed a bunch of stuff for adventure mode, which I never stream. I don't enjoy adventure mode because I'm not really into those kind of games. Interestingly enough, I mean, when DDR Jake played this game, he only played Dwarf Fortress mode. I'd like to see him play adventure mode sometime. I don't know if he'd like it, but it'd be interesting to see him play adventure mode. It would be fun to see him play adventure mode quite a bit. Just to see whether he could handle the unique wackiness that is adventure mode. So, do you want me to like go over what's changed for people, or should I just kind of leave it as a bit of a surprise? I mean, we can go over it. I can kind of go over the stuff that's changed in a big way, or we could just I don't know what the best way of doing this is. Okay, we've reached the year 200. It'll probably tick over another couple of years, but I'm decent. A little bit tired, but I did want to play before the day was done. Use the world as it currently exists. We've generated an absolutely massive world. This is a really big world that we've created, which should hopefully mean that we will have the kind of location that I'm looking for in order to start it. It's going to take a while for it to offload and load units. See him get stuck in a house for 2 hours, yeah. I remember the first time that I played Adventure Mode, I started out as like the human adventurer. I can't remember what name I had. Like some stupid Dwarf Fortress style name. But I was like this human adventurer. I started out in this human hamlet with all my fellow humans. I walked out of the hamlet. I saw a donkey on a cliffside, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to get my first kill. Because I wanted to just kill as much stuff as I could, like, you know, really childish like. So I walked up to this donkey, I punched it in the face in adventure mode, and the donkey immediately kicked me in the face and took my brain out. One hit. The donkey one hit killed me, one hit KO'd my human character, completely brained it. So yeah, that was the end of the adventurer's life. So it was like looking through the history files, and you know, saying such and such was a human male who lived in this. On this date, he realized he had a higher purpose. The next day, he was struck down by the donkey, such and such. And the donkey became a historical figure as well, because it was like obviously a renowned donkey because it killed this famous adventurer. So yeah, that was like one of my first experiences with adventure mode. But we're going to be going with fortress mode again today. Adventure mode has its own kind of unique funniness to it. Like, you can do stuff in adventure mode that you just can't really do in Dwarf Fortress mode. Like the combat system and being able to kind of like control how you approach that, and you know, being able to give individual orders and be, you know, you can like try and wrestle somebody to the ground and disarm them and stuff like that, and you can like walk around villages and accuse people of being vampires, and then you know everyone will tell you to go away. Until you accidentally accuse somebody who is a vampire, at which point they'll kill you for it. They'll be like, no, you've exposed my secret. Then they'll attack you and then murder you. You know, you can... Adventure mode is an interesting game. It's also got its weird quirks as well. So this is the world that we generated anyway. Oh, good. We got like an inn... We got like a... Holy shit! I've never seen anything like this before. That's actually kind of interesting. You see this ocean here? This ocean here is serene. It's a... You know how there's like evil biomes in Dwarf Fortress? We've played in an evil biome before. You can also get good biomes, which is kind of like the opposite. And this entire ocean is a joyous wilds ocean. We can't embark on it because you can't embark on ocean tiles, unfortunately. But yeah, it's a joyous wilds ocean. But yeah, we weren't looking for that. We're actually going to be trying to embark next to a tower. We want to embark near to a necromancer tower, and I can see two of them right here. So let's have a look and see. I don't want to embark next to... I just want to embark next to one. I don't want to embark next to two of them. But you can see, I think you might be able to spot one thing already. Have you noticed what the biome's like? You see that the necromancer tower is surrounded by purple, right? Like, in our current Dwarf Fortress game, we have how many necromancer towers? We have like 7 necromancer towers, but the landscape itself is still just a normal landscape. In this version of Dwarf Fortress, necromancer towers actually spread corruption, as do goblin pits. So now, where there's a goblin fortress or there's a necromancer tower, they'll actually spread out like corruption and hauntedness and evil, and that will affect the location near it. And conversely, if you destroy the necromancer's tower, then eventually the corruption will go away. I don't think it happens in Dwarf Fortress mode, but it will happen in history, and it will happen in the overview of the world. So I don't think you can like uncorrupt a biome from within Dwarf Fortress mode itself, but like if you were to play Dwarf Fortress mode, and so yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. So for example, we see this necromancer tower here, right? But this one is surrounded by just like grassland, so presumably this necromancer tower is kind of new. Presumably this is a relatively new necromancer tower. So that's kind of one of the new features that's been added. Another feature, actually, you might have noticed already. You notice how when I'm scrolling across here, you can see the conditions of the place. So this location here has a heavy aquifer, right? This location has a heavy aquifer. And then if we go across to the side, you can see this one here's got a varied aquifer, and then this one over here's got a light aquifer. Like, normally when we play Dwarf Fortress, we usually just entirely disable aquifers. Aquifers are deadly in older versions of Dwarf Fortress. It was like, the moment you drilled into an aquifer, it would immediately flood with water, right? That's how it kind of worked. But now in this version of Dwarf Fortress, there's actually two different types of aquifers, and the light aquifer will fill with water, but it will be very slowly, so you can actually just dig through it, and you have enough time to be able to wall in the aquifer and stop it from like spreading out and flooding your entire fortress. So that's the new feature as well, is the fact that you now have that kind of option. You can either play with the, I guess you could say, classic style instant murder aquifer of the old game, or you can now play with the light aquifer, which is nowhere near as deadly. And you know, you can use it for water and stuff like that without having to worry about that. There's also, it seems to be a lot more joyous areas, which is kind of interesting as well. I don't know if this is to do with the game itself, or if it's to do with any of the changes Toadie's made to the world generation. But this world has a lot of joyous areas. You don't usually see that. You can see here, this is all joyous wilds, mirthful surroundings. But yeah, we're not going to embark anywhere like that, unfortunately. We've never done a fortress in a joyous biome, actually. We've never done a joyous biome fortress. We should do it sometime. We'll do it one day, but not today. But yeah, we can see here, we've got all these different civilizations as well. I'm looking here, I'm looking at the map. It seems like there aren't any massive dwarven civilizations. There are a handful of them. But there's none that really stand out. I guess there's this one in the middle here. There's like a big dwarf fortress civilization here, and this is just like, there's just like walls of fortresses next to each other, and they're kind of near to some goblin pits as well. It's kind of interesting. But again, I need to embark next to a tower. So here's a tower here, and yeah, we got dwarves, elves, humans, goblins, and the tower. And let's make sure that we're definitely going to be embarking from a civilization that will be able to support us. The furnaces of seizing will be the fortress that will be the civilization that we start with, and I think we will. Oh, it's really hot in this biome as well. This biome is like scorchingly hot. I don't actually want to know. I don't know if I want to go somewhere that's like scorching hot. We could embark in like this like scrubland. Well, the dwarves will be uncomfortable. Hopefully, it's not too hot. It's like scorching hot. Very deep soil, light aquifer, deep metals, and a flux stone layer. So hopefully, if we embark here, then that means that we will have access to some iron and possibly be able to make steel, because we've got the flux stone as well. So actually, no, I need to move the cursor over. Actually, you know what? We'll move it here. We got the deep No, actually, I wanted the flux stone layer as well. Where was it? It was kind of like. Oh, I've lost it. It was on the map somewhere. Varied aquifer. No, I don't want a varied aquifer at all. I either want a light aquifer or I don't want one. Iron and steel. What is this madness? I know, right? Tin's not good enough for you. I'm more of a zinc boy these days. I'm more into zinc. I think zinc's where it's at. You know, I quite enjoyed Zinc Fortress, and I'm kind of sad that it never went anywhere. Right. No, oh, I lost it. There's like one tile that had exactly what I wanted on it. This one, I think it was. Yeah, we'll try here. We've got a light aquifer, deep soil, deep metal, and a flux stone layer. So hopefully we got iron here. Chances are we don't. But again, this is going to be a very temporary fortress. It's not going to be one that we'll return to probably. We're just going to check out the new features. So let's embark here. Oh, it's got salt water as well. I don't want to deal with salt water actually. You know what, screw it. We're going to go over here instead. There's a tower over here. We'll just make sure that there's definitely a dwarf civilization that's not too far away from here. Then again, all the dwarf civilizations are on this side of the map, so we've got to be on this side of the map. Sorry I'm being so picky about this. I just want to make sure that, you know, we don't jump into this and just immediately have something terrible happen that prevents us from doing anything. As fun as that would be, I'm sure, for people, I'm sure you'd all enjoy that, right? Like just seeing me fail immediately. Alright, we need to be close to the tower. There's clay, deep metals, shallow metal and deep metals. This looks like a decent place. We've got a tower, we got neighbours. We just need to get the dwarf civilization. There will be the unswerving hammer. We don't even have an aquifer, so we won't have to deal with that. So let's embark here. It's Badlands, there's no trees. Oh shit, is there really no trees here? Oh man, that's a real pain in the ass. You know what, this is fine, yeah. Tropical woodlands, yeah. We've got metals, we've got deep metals, clay, flux-stone. We're next to a tower which we're at war with. So we're actually already starting at war with the tower. We're not just hostile to it, we're at war with it. With the unswerving hammer. Excellent, perfect. This will do. Let's embark. Are you sure you want to embark here? Yes, I am sure. Let's prepare for the journey carefully. I had to go AFK for a bit, so apologies if you already talked about it, but do you know if and how this update impacts release of Dwarf Fortress on Steam? This update that happened now was the last update that's going to be before the Steam release. So the next update is going to be the next update after this is going to be the Dwarf Fortress Steam release. That's the idea. Well, actually, no. There's going to be some bug fixes first. So the next update will be bug fixes to this update. But then after that, Toadie is supposed to be working on the Steam release. That being said, I would not expect the Steam release. I wouldn't even expect it this year, honestly. The work that's going to go into making the Steam release is going to be significant, to say the least. It's a lot of work that's just going into that, and you know, it's going to take a long time in order for that to just be ready. It's going to take ages for the Steam release to be ready. So if you're waiting to play the game, like if you're waiting for the Steam release before you play the game, you're going to be waiting a long time. Because I don't think that Toadie, knowing like how just kind of like judging Dwarf Fortress's kind of like previous development cycles and all that kind of stuff, I don't think that it's going to be anytime soon, is what I'm saying. But we'll see anyway. I mean, I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Yeah, time is subjective. Not only that, but no work has actually been done on the Steam release yet. Like, I know that they've got screenshots, but the only work that's been done is the creation of a tile set, basically. So Toadie's paid some people to work on graphics for him, and that's all that is there with the Steam release so far. So the only thing that exists is the graphics element to it. And kind of knowing Toadie a little bit, I kind of think that there's at least a decent chance that he'll get distracted by something, and then he'll pursue that instead, because he's done that in the past. Like, holy shit, like, there's so many features that Dwarf Fortress was going to have, and then they just kind of been shelved, or things that were like priorities and then not priorities. But then again, with the Steam release, it's a bit different, because, you know, he has got people working for him on it, and he's presumably paying them, so maybe it won't be like that in the past. I mean, Dwarf Fortress is like the epitome of an indie game, right? It is a really indie game. Right. Yeah. This guy can be a mason and then a mechanic. But yeah, it's gonna take Toadie a while to get through all that. It's gonna take him a while to do any of that. So I wouldn't hold your breath, is what I'm saying. We're going to take 2 dogs with us. We're going to take 2 cats with us. This list seems to be bigger. I don't know whether it's just because I'm using a slightly different tile set than I usually do. And I don't know whether that's just making it look different to my eyes, but it seems like there's actually a bit of a bigger list. Hey there, patient, welcome. We're going to take with us some geese, and I think that's about it. We'll just take some geese with us. Where are they? There they are. Yeah, this list does seem kind of bigger. And then we'll also take some more dwarven beer. 11 dwarven beer. That's fine. Okay, so let's name our fortress. I'm just gonna random. Okay, actually, someone give me a number between like 5 and 1 and 5. What's the difference between a dog and a war dog? There's actually 3 different kinds of dogs: hunting dogs, war dogs, and normal dogs. 2. Okay, we'll randomize it twice. Random. So this fortress is going to be called Throw Figures. Let's look at our symbol. You know what? I'll just let it randomly generate a symbol. I'm not going to bother messing with that. Okay, so that's that, and then we just press E. Now we cross our fingers because it could crash, right? It could crash pretty quickly, but we're going to see, and hopefully it doesn't. You have arrived after a journey from the mountain homes into the forbidding wilderness beyond your harsh trek has finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all of Saran Nil. Let's start our fortress out. But yeah, what's the difference between a dog and a war dog? There's 3 types of dogs. You've got hunting dogs, war dogs, and dogs. You train war dogs and hunting dogs from normal dogs. So if you got a normal dog, you can train them into either hunting dogs or war dogs. War dogs are more aggressive in terms of their ability to fight people. So I mean, it kind of just is what it sounds like, right? Is there a really bad delay on this, or I hope there isn't. There we go. Yeah, so this is the location of our fortress. It's a pretty flat area. Let's have a look at the unit list. We've got 2 horses. Are they the same? We might have a breeding pair of horses for free. Animals. Yes, we do. We have a breeding pair of horses. Cool. Horse meat for everybody. There shouldn't be a big delay. I don't ever set like a big delay or anything like that. Okay, but yeah, this is our fortress. This is where we're at. And we're just gonna be going into it. But yeah. So basically, with the different kinds of dogs, I don't usually bother training animals. I don't think that it's that useful, because the way that I use dogs, in Dwarf Fortress, I mostly use them to guard locations. So I'm not really concerned about their ability to fight people. Dogs in Dwarf Fortress exist for 2 reasons. 1, in order to make leather armor, and number 2, in order to bark, so that when any kobold thieves enter the fortress, they get spotted immediately. And that's the way that I use dogs. But yeah, the first thing we're just going to do is we're just going to tell our woodcutter to cut down all those trees in the area. And once he's done that, we're going to start digging, and we'll... I don't know, we could dig down into the side of the cliffs here and do kind of like a more standard fortress. So we could just dig straight down. And, you know, we could dig straight down and kind of like build a fort on top of the earth. You know, like a wooden fort or something like that. Delicious horse lasagna for everyone, yeah. God, I watched part of Jake's stream today. The 9 hours of that randomizer. It seemed like hell. I've never played either of those 2 games, right? I've never played that Zelda game. I've also never played I've never played any Metroid game. I've never played any Metroid game, but oh God, just been stuck. So we have sky view and horizontal view. No. Have you never played Dwarf Fortress before, Patient? Or is this like the first time that you've seen this game? The way that Dwarf Fortress works is that it's top-down, but we can view layers, right? So let's say that this is layer 1. We can go down and we can look at all the layers beneath it. So we're currently on layer 29. I can see it in the top corner. It's a bit hard to read. And then we go up here. We can actually see the sky as well. So these are trees, right? So we can see kind of like the intersection of the tree. And we're just cutting down all the trees in the local area. But we kind of go up and down that way, you see. I hate both games, and watching it was physically painful. I like Super Metroid a lot, but doing a combined randomizer when you barely know the game, yeah, that's just super rough. Honestly, like, I would have done just as crap. I probably would have done worse, honestly, if I was doing it myself. So I don't blame him for doing badly. I'm just surprised that he went for as long as he did. I would have given up. I would have just said like, nope, I've had enough. You know, I'll do it another day. Because I am a quitter. But you know, he's Jake and I'm me. There's nothing on here. There's a great horned owl. What's it? Oh, great horned owl, yeah. Not a giant horned owl, just a great horned owl. Yeah, let's have a look at the world real quick whilst we have that going on in the background. Oh god. I wonder if the way that the world generations changed has changed at all. There don't seem to be that many goblins nearby. Oh, actually, these are all kind of goblin hamlet. The Tomb of Lensfinder. Okay, that's pretty cool. You never would normally see something like that on the map. But yeah, we'll have a look at that a bit more later. Thanks, I tried it once, started with a tutorial, looked for a perfect place and stopped after. This game is huge. Yeah, there is a lot to this game. I mean, I play it pretty regularly. I've streamed pretty regularly on the channel, but you know, it's not a straightforward game, especially when they keep changing the way that it works. But then again, this is the first update that Dwarf Fortress has had in 2 years, right? Yeah, 2 years. The last update was in 2018. Well, more like a year and a bit. No, was it 2017? Alright, we're telling them to dig down. We're just having the dwarves dig kind of like a channel, and then we're going to be digging into this, and this is going to be the kind of starting location of our fortress. We're going to have to try and generate a lot of value very quickly because I want to get some big migrant waves. Because I want to, you know, just kind of get into this as quickly as possible. But yeah, I kind of like entranceways like this. You know what? We'll make it a bit fancier. We'll make it a big hallway like that, and then we're gonna make it go down again right here like that. Oh wait, I don't want to. Bollocks! I've done that all wrong. I don't want to channel that out. I want to dig that out. There we go. So it's getting more stable, sweet. I liked how obscure it was, but I guess I can't condemn the dev for wanting to show it to the world. Yeah, I mean, Dwarf Fortress up until now, they've never asked for money. He's had a Patreon, and before that they had donations through. They've had donations through PayPal. They used to do PayPal donations before they had a Patreon. They might still do PayPal donations, but yeah, that's how they funded the development of this game. But yeah, this is the layer that we're actually going to be doing stuff on. We're just kind of going down a little bit first, and then kind of on this layer here, what we'll do is we'll have. I think we'll just have it go off in that direction there. We'll have it go off in this direction here, and then we're just going to dig that out, kind of like an intersection. Yeah, but yeah, it's a really good game. This is, honestly. I can't wait for the Steam release though. I have this thing in my head about it. Like, I was thinking about it yesterday. There's only really a handful of people who stream this game regularly. There's a lot of people streaming it today, but that's just because of the release. But given the way that Twitch is, and given the kind of game that Dwarf Fortress is, it'll be interesting to see how many people stream it when the Steam release happens. I suspect it'll be a lot of people. It'll probably be like the big Flavor of the Month thing on Twitch for a bit, which would be funny to see. Like, I can't wait to see all these people who like never play anything like this, just trying to understand a game like Dwarf Fortress. It's going to be amusing for me. It's not often that I feel like I know a bit more about a game than other people. I usually think that I'm pretty bad at games, but this game, I'm not good at it, but I know how to play it, so I've got an advantage over some other people. A slight advantage. Oh yeah, I know that Jake's planning on finishing it. I'm going to watch him finish it. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing how he does. But yeah, we're going to dig out some more down here. And this is going to be where we have like the dining rooms, and yeah, that'll do. Okay, cool. So that's that. That looks like it's all even, it's all correct, and we've got a little bit of a starting structure. We're now going to tell the dwarves to just build a wall around the fortress. We're just going to immediately start by building a wall all the way around the fortress perimeter, and we're going to be doing this pretty swiftly. Now this is I'm about to show you what I mean when I say that. In a little bit, I'm going to oh, actually, we'll wait on that. Some big variety streamers said they're going to do the stream version, so I'm expecting a huge view turnout the first few days. Yeah, I imagine. I don't think that he's going to be streaming it anytime soon, though. Sorry, I don't think that there's going to be a Steam release anytime soon. It's going to be in a little bit. We found limonite, which is because I can never remember what any of these. Oh, yeah, great! It's an ore of iron. So we've already got iron in this location. Things are already looking good. Like usually it's like, okay, is that many across? I want this to be even, so I have to make sure that it is even all the way around. There we go. Yeah, in a little bit we're going to build a bridge, and that's actually going to be really annoying. Like I say, we usually use a utility called Dwarf Therapist in order to assign jobs, right? At the moment, none of these dwarves have the labor enabled to do architecture, which is the labor that you need to build the bridge. So normally what I would do is I'd go to Dwarf Therapist and I'd just pick a dwarf and I'd say, hey, you are the temporary bridge builder, even though, you know, obviously they're not like skilled at building bridges or anything. And then that dwarf would just go off and he'd design his first bridge, and then that would be our defense for the rest of the game. But obviously we're not gonna. It's going to be tedious to do, and I'll show you exactly why that is in a little bit. But in the meantime, I'm going to designate more stuff to be dug out. This is going to be where we're going to put some farm plots, and I think on the other side over here we're going to put some distilleries. Yeah, just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, like that. I think that's a perfect design. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll get rid of the back row there. Yeah, this is where our farms are gonna go. I like the auto labor, a bit slow, but never struggled much. Fair enough. Yeah, I prefer to use like Dwarf Therapist. I've used it a lot in the past. I find it easier to kind of manage what's going on in the fortress, you know, dealing with the waves of migrants and then just assigning them jobs, assigning them new positions in the fortress, right? So, yeah, it's great fun when, you know, you have a migrant wave that's made up of 20 different kinds of cheesemaker, and you say, oh look, a cheesemaker, he's going to be my new metalsmith, or actually probably more common than that, he's going to be in the army. Okay, why don't we make a couple of different plots of land? We're actually going to make 2 farms. They don't need to be massive either, like farm plots don't have to be big in order to sustain a fortress. In fact, these are already bigger than they need to be, but I just want them to kind of look uniform. Yeah, some dwarfs, a dwarf shows up in your fortress and he's like, hey, I'm a soap maker. And it's like, why would you need, yeah, precisely, why would you need a cheese maker? You wouldn't. Wait, what? Why is this guy vomiting? Is this something new to the game already? Is this some kind of weird feature? Because it looks like that guy's vomiting. He's like, you can see the green trail that he's leaving. And this miner here, he's gone up to the surface. He saw the sun, and it nauseated him. And then she's been vomiting all over the fortress floor. And then this other dwarf here, Mustum, is cleaning up the vomits, which is you know, beautiful. Cave sickness, yeah, cave sickness, but the fortress has only existed for like a week. So how has he become cave adapted that fast that he's already got cave sickness? This other dwarf is doing it as well. Obok. She goes down. Oh man, I hope that this isn't. They shouldn't be getting cave sickness that fast, surely not. Okay, never mind. We're going to make a stockpile down here. We're just going to make a simple food stockpile. We're going to have them put all the food in there, and then we're going to start making some workshops. We're going to have to dig down here a little bit though. So we're going to connect up this layer here, like that, these two staircases, and on this layer we're going to be building some workshops and stuff. Is this the end? What do you mean? Maybe some bad grog. No, it looks like it's the sun. It's like they've seen the sunlight and it's made them vomit all over the place, which is kind of funny. I hope it's not going to happen to any of my other dwarves. Well, I can even see trails of vomit like inside here. I don't know. The sickness, if they die, what happens? Okay, dwarves, they're not going to die. They're not going to die. It's cave adaptation, right? So the more time that a dwarf spends underground, the more adapted they get to being underground. And they develop this condition known as cave adaptation. And basically it means that the dwarf is, he's kind of like used to never seeing the sun. And so when he goes outside, it's kind of like, you know, some kind of disgusting vampire reaction to the sun. They immediately vomit all over the place, and you know, they get upset about it. We're going to be growing plump helmet, and we'll also grow in this one. We're going to grow. Can we grow sweet pods? Or we could grow cave wheats. Cave wheat's probably better. We'll grow cave wheat. Cave wheat, and then in winter, yeah. Yeah, dwarves are weird creatures. Howie's giving his explanation for why dwarves develop cave sickness, but I'd say that the real reason they develop cave sickness is just to make you, is just to give you trouble. Like when you need them to go upstairs in order to fight off a horde of elves, they start vomiting all over the show just to annoy you. I think that's the real reason that they develop cave sickness, is purely to get on my nerves. That's the only reason. Okay, let's dig that out there. So we told them to build a still up there. We built a distillery area where they're going to be able to make more booze, and we're going to be building some workshops along here, just kind of to. This is going to be like the workshop area. I don't really have like a set idea in mind for how I'm going to do workshops. I'm just kind of doing it by ear. You know, just again, this fortress isn't going to be a permanent fortress or anything, so we're just kind of doing it in terms of just what I think will look good. Yeah, we'll do it like that. Yeah, like that. Why not let the elves get inside? That way they lose faster. I mean, you could do that. I mean, if the elves get inside, you can capture them in cages and things like that, and then you can do scientific experiments to see which is stronger, the giant tiger or the elf. But you know, it's like sometimes you just don't want to even get to that point. You just want to deal with them before they become a threat. I've been told that elves make for very good crossbow practice as well. But you know, your luck may vary with this. Man, I always expect somebody to come into the stream and be like, man, the way you talk about elves is disgusting. I wonder if there's anybody out there who's like a fan of elves, or like, I don't know, it just seems a bit like most people kind of don't like them. It just, I know most Dwarf Fortress players don't, but that's because they play Dwarf Fortress, isn't it? Yeah. We're kind of going through a weird structure here. I'm really not sure what I'm doing with this, but I'm thinking that in the middle we could have like a big space for kind of like stockpiles, and that way we could have just like, we can have this like dedicated space for stockpiling stuff, like right here, right? So this will be like the big stockpile room, and then we can, you know, we can put furniture in here, furniture stockpiles, crafts stockpiles, and all that kind of stuff. Just dig out a really big space for it at the start of the game. You like elves, but you like dwarves too. Fair enough. Elves in Dwarf Fortress are not like elves in, like, let's say, Lord of the Rings. They're a bit different. They're more like the fairy tale elves, you know, like the squats and little creatures, who live in trees and eat people. That is the behavior that elves have. By the way, they are cannibals, but which is part of the reason why they don't get on with dwarves in Dwarf Fortress. Okay, let me just sort out the music. Okay, but yeah, we're going to be putting all of our workshops up here. We've built most of this wall. I'm going to tell them to keep building it, and we're going to deconstruct the wagon. We don't need the wagon anymore. Once we got the stockpile up, we're going to set it up so that we have everything stockpiled inside, so that it can't be stolen by any, creatures. Dark Young likes owls over dwarves. Oh, you would, wouldn't you? You would say that, wouldn't you? I'm kidding. No, yeah, we need to get everything inside pretty swiftly because, no joke, you can have creatures steal your belongings, and I don't want that. I'm really worried about like a giant Kia flying away with my anvil, which is something that can happen, by the way. So you know, be cautious of that. We've only got one anvil. We need it. Yeah, this is the Age of Empires 2 soundtrack that we're playing at the moment. This is one of the songs from Age of Empires 2, yeah. I play song. I upload these videos to YouTube, the Dwarf Fortress streams that I do. I don't like the Dwarf Fortress music because it's repetitive. It's the same song over and over again. So what I do instead is I just play soundtracks from video games. But I can't play like any commercial music or anything like that because if I did, I would get copyright striked on YouTube because I do upload these streams on YouTube as well, and I don't want to deal with that hassle. So I just play like a handful of like appropriate civil, you know, like soundtracks that I think are good. Like the one before this one was the Banished soundtrack, which is a good game. I like the soundtrack in that. I do need more variety though. I tend to play the same ones over and over again. Okay, they're digging that out. I'm going to tell them to start setting up some workshops here. We're going to put a Craftsdorf workshop in this gap here, and we're going to build another one in that gap there. And we're going to just, you know, we're just giving the dwarves tasks to do. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to tell them to start. Oh, actually, they can't even brew anything yet. They don't have. We'll build another work. We'll build another. When they dig that out, they can have another stockpile there for more alcohol. But yeah, this is where the workshop's going to be. So there's going to be workshops in these little cubby holes. There's 2 Craftsdorf workshops here, and we're going to, you know, that's where they're going to be doing crafting stuff. They're going to be making stuff. We'll probably have smelting and metalwork on a different layer, but or somewhere slightly out of the way. But here is where we're going to be making all of our crafts and things. So we're going to have like some stockpiles for materials in here, so that they keep. So that they don't leave wood on the surface. For example, when they cut down trees, they'll take it all inside. And we'll also have a stone stockpile so that they'll move stones out of the way of places, and so that the fortress isn't just covered in like these rock salt. We got a lot of rock salt, by the way. This is rock salt, says the description. Okay, right. I've played this soundtrack so much with Dwarf Fortress that it's just one that I associate with this game. Hey there, welcome. Chikanshi. I don't know if I pronounced that right. That's just what Twitch is saying. I'm sorry if I got that horribly wrong. But yeah, we're playing Dwarf Fortress today. The new update. We might not see. Ah, okay, cool. That's good to know. We might not see anything of the new update in this fortress especially. I think we might have to wait. I think a lot of the features depend on having a relatively big-sized fortress.
Thank you very much.
Thank you as well for the follow from Patient. Greatly appreciate it. We're gonna make this out. We're just making this out of whatever kind of wood that we have. It doesn't really matter. Just any wood in particular. And then we'll put that there. We gotta move all this junk out of the way. It's currently in the way of our of where the bridge is going to be. We're going to build a bridge across here. Yeah. All right. See you later, patient. Glad. Really appreciate the follow. I hope I see you again in the future. Yeah, we need to get like a tavern and a library. The other things that are kind of newer to do with necromancers, though, and if we look at the world map, you'll see that we are right next to a necromancer tower, and we're actually at war with the necromancers as well. So with any luck, we'll have some visitors from the necromancers showing up in our fortress to say hello and ask us how our day has been. So, you know, we might be able to see some of the new stuff that way. But if we don't get to it today, we'll definitely get to it another time. You know, it's just kind of starting a new fortress. Don't need luck, he'll be here by winter. I'm not sure if that's luck or unluck. I think perhaps it's... yeah, we do need to batten down the hatches and... I don't know if you can notice it, but the game is kind of slow to start. It's been a bit stuttery, and I think this is the new release. It's not normally this stuttery when you pause and unpause, or at least not in my experience. Yeah, we'll have a visit from some necromancers hopefully, and we'll be able to say hello and ask them about the new projects that they've been working on. Do people want me to kind of spoil a bit about what the updates, what's in the update, or should I just kind of leave it as a secret? I guess I could say it's not hidden fun stuff related, but yeah, necromancers have got some new toys to play with. Is one way to describe it. So you know, we'll see if we encounter any of those. We should do. When I generated this world, I set it up so that we should have loads of necromancers in it. This world is teeming with necromancers. It's one of the features of this world that makes it unique. I like them being able to do stuff in the background. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, like before this update, necromancers were a bit kind of like they'd sit in their tower all day and just make zombies. Oh yeah, that's the other thing as well. You can now have. Not only are you capable of finding hidden fun stuff, but now NPC fortresses are also capable of finding hidden fun stuff, which is a unique and interesting feature. Obviously, you know, we're big fans of the hidden fun stuff. Okay, this is the part I've been dreading. We're going to be going to one of our dwarfs who isn't doing anything. Specifically, we're going to go to, I believe, not our miners. This woodworker here. We're going to go to U unit. No, actually, we're going to go to Z. We're going to go to labor, and then we're going to. I always forget how to set this. It's in P, isn't it? Yeah, P labor. Then we're going to scroll down and view category. Then we're going to tell this guy to be an architect. There we go. Really painful. Obviously, I can see that you feel my pain, right? Now, it doesn't look that bad, right? It doesn't look that bad setting labours, but that's how you tell dwarves to do individual things normally, is you have to go to each individual dwarf and be like, okay, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. So it's kind of a pain to do when you've got a really big fortress, because you've got to keep track of each individual dwarf. You don't have like a spreadsheet, and that's why I prefer to use Dwarf Therapist, but it's not updated yet, so I can't use it. I also love the change that goblins and demons can spread evil into biomes with their spheres of influence. Yes, that is true, they can. I believe necromancers can as well, actually. I think necromancers are capable of doing that as well. Although I'm not 100% on that. Downstairs, we need to make some stairs on here. We built a wall around the fortress, but the wall isn't secure. We need to go upstairs and we need to build, not a cover, we need to build a perimeter around it. We need to build like an edge, otherwise they can climb up. I also love the changes that goblins and demons can spread. Yeah, oh yeah, sorry, I already read that message. But yeah, we'll build floors all the way around here. Yeah, and yeah, just like that. Yeah, I really don't care what kind of wood I'm going to use. We'll probably have it be all mismatched and stuff like that, but that's fine. Busted apple logs, that's fine. all the way around here. Basically, having a lip like this around the walls prevents things from climbing over the wall. So, like, zombies are capable of climbing, which is terrifying. Like, I know that's such an awful idea, but they can do it. I've seen them do it before. So we build the lip around the wall so that they can't climb over the lip. That's the reason that we're building it like this. And then that way they won't be able to climb over it. Now that doesn't protect us entirely because, well, I'm sure we can figure out the reason why it doesn't. I mean, what if the zombies can fly? And in that case, you know, we're a bit out of luck, but this will protect us from most things. Elves can be pretty tricksy because they can bring creatures with them that fly, as can goblins if they raid. Yeah, that's what we're doing with the. That's what we're doing. We're setting it up so that they're stopped, and you can also see that miner is vomiting all over my newly constructed wooden fortification. There is one other thing that we are going to do in order to stop flyers, and we're going to build a bridge here, and that's just going to be a bridge to close the entire fortress itself, so that we can close down the fortress if we need to. We'll just build a bridge there as well. So we've got kind of like an airlock system. We've got this bridge here, and we're going to have this bridge here as well, just to act as a defensive mechanism, so that if we need to, we can just get everybody inside and have them there in order to deal with that. I'm going to build some mechanics workshops and another mason's workshop, and on the other side we're going to build a carpenter's workshops, a couple of carpenter's workshops, like that, and then that'll do for now in terms of workshops. We're also going to build a furniture stockpile just in here. I think we'll build it. I'm not sure how we're going to build this actually. What we could do is we could build a wood stockpile here, like that. We could build a stone stockpile, kind of mirrors that one there, and then we can just have like a furniture stockpile here, and then we can have a finished goods stockpile here, like that. And then we just got some stockpiles where they can store general goods and stuff like that. Is the soundtrack still on? Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, we'll set it up so that we can put the fortress into panic mode, as I like to call it. We'll designate one huge burrow inside the entire fortress, and then if an invasion comes, we just set everybody to go on panic mode, which will send everybody running inside, and then we can lock the door and wait out any sieges if we need to. Pretty standard stuff, really. The other thing that we need to do here is build a rope. I should have brought a rope with me. We will put a rope here is a good place for it. Don't want them stuck out with the necromancers, precisely. Oh, the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to designate this big area here. It's only temporary, but we're just going to designate this area here as a pasture, and we're just going to assign both of our horses to it, so that our horses stay over there and that they can have some food to eat. So yeah, that's going fine. We've still got plenty of drinks and food. We're going to put that rope there, which is going to be, we're going to tie a dog up here, and that dog will hopefully spot anybody coming into the fortress in order to steal anything. And that's just going to be another part of our defensive line, is just a dog on a rope. It's not going to stop any necromancers, I'm sure you can understand, but it will be helpful. And yeah, you can see it already. We're kind of getting a little bit of a structure being built, and we're doing the same underground. So it's all kind of coming together. It's a decent spot. We got the mechanics workshop here. Yeah, we definitely do have a mechanic. I think he's just building something else first. I hear you can now pet the dog in Dwarf Fortress. Yes, you can. You're back with chicken and rice. Well, welcome back. Not much has happened yet. We've just been setting up the basic structures of the fortress. We've built this kind of big chamber here, which is going to be where the well, that goes. I thought I did have a carpenter. Oh, okay, he's constructing the bridges, that's why he's busy. Let them handle all the undead and attackers, then if they die you get undead guardians. Yeah, I don't know if they'd be guardians of us so much as just guardians of the necromancer, as it were, but we'll see. Yeah. But yeah, we're going to breed horses, you know, as you would. Horse meat, very nice. We've got all that kind of stuff downstairs. Where's my anvil? I'm kind of worried about that because I don't see it. Stocks. I hope I still have it. Okay, yes, we still have an anvil somewhere. In fact, I'm going to bring the anvil downstairs immediately, just by building a metalsmith's forge. I'm just gonna build one here because I don't want to lose the anvil somehow. So I'm just going to assign one of the this farmer here. He can temporarily become a metalsmith, exactly long enough, as long as it takes in order for him to just. Oh, actually, no, he needs to have a different kind of metalsmithing, doesn't he? Ah, no, I think he can still build it with just furnace operating. He'll be a metalsmith as long as it takes him to build the forge, and then he can stop being a metalsmith. We also want to build a bunch of levers, rock mechanisms. And then this is just so that we can, you know, protect, we can start locking the doors if we need to. Friendly folks, but bitey, yeah. Precisely. We can't pet the dog in Fortress mode, I'm afraid. We can only pet the dog in Adventure mode. So we'll have to play an Adventure mode game and then we'll be able to pet some dogs. If you want, I could go pet the dog. I could go pet my dog. I've got her in the house somewhere. I think she's asleep there at the moment. She's a tired girl. I don't want to go wake her up. It's unfortunate, you know. It'd be mean to wake her up. She's having a little nap. Right, he's currently storing stuff in stockpiles. You know what? I'm just gonna. Yeah, just do all metalsmithing. There you go. Let's order the dogs to be eaten. Age them and butcher. Well, no, not yet. We need to have a breeding pair. We need to always have at least 2 dogs, one of each gender, so that we can get more dogs. Because if we butcher them now, then we won't be able to butcher dogs in the future. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. Alright. We don't even have a place to butcher them yet. I'm gonna have to wait until I get some. Migrants. Back when cats used to breed like rats, I ate only cats. Hundreds in cages, all delicious. Are you talking about in Dwarf Fortress or just like in general? You know, to be honest, I'm not really concerned about whether the dwarves like what they eat or not. I just want them to eat. You know, they'll eat what I give them, basically. Usually pump helmets, just because of how easy it is to get loads of pump helmets. Other times they'll be eating dog meat, because dog meat is also plentiful. But yeah, they got 2 choices really. They either eat or they don't. But yeah, we need the migrant waves to show up, because that's going to be another feature of this. Because in this update, you now got priests. Priests and temples are a feature of this game. And what I mean is that when a I thought it was E. Yeah, E. Okay. When a religion or a dwarf gets enough worshippers in your fortress, what will happen is that dwarf, that god, sorry, when a god has enough worshippers in their fortress, then that person, that deity, well, the followers of that god will petition for you to build a temple. They'll request that you build a temple, and they'll want you to appoint a priest to be the priest of the temple, and stuff like that. So that's kind of like a new feature of this version of the game, which is pretty cool. Our temporary metalsmith is now going to also be, I think it's in here. No, it's not. Is it metalsmithing? No, I know furnace operating. Okay, this is really weird, but furnace operating isn't the same as wood burning, or at least I don't think it is. Wood burning is its own category, I think, which is really dumb, but I can't remember where wood burning is in this list of stuff, because I almost, yeah, there we go, wood burning. It's a farming skill, apparently. So yeah, we're just going to tell him to be a wood burner for a bit. Why do we burn wood? To make charcoal, but also to piss off elves. When TWBT and all that gets updated, I want to build a nice multi-layer city and just fill it with guilds and temples. Have the whole couple entrance floods be just towns. I'd like to build temples in like really weird spots, right? I've done this in other games, I think Dennis, I don't know if you remember this. You would have been there for it. The sacrifice the dwarf, the greatest dwarf who ever lived in any of my fortresses. It was a fortress called Tin Fortress because the only metal that was in the fortress was tin, and I wanted to get steel. I wanted to get iron and make weapons. So in order to get that, we needed to start a war with the goblins because the goblins weren't attacking us. So we sent a dwarf to the goblins, who I named Sacrifice, right? Just any dwarf. The only reason we sent them to the goblins was so that they'd start a war with the goblins. And so we sent him to the goblins to pillage a goblin site. He had no equipment, no weapons, no armor or anything. Just one dwarf by themselves, and that was Sacrifice the dwarf. Not only were they able to survive, they killed 5 goblins whilst they were at the whilst they were on their one woman mission. It was a lady dwarf. One woman mission to burn down this goblin's village by herself. Not only did she do that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not only did she do that, she also stole a cabinet. She stole an entire mica cabinet from these goblins, and she carried it all the way back from this goblin dark pit to the fortress. So what I did when she got back was I built a temple with the cabinet inside as a monument to her success in war, because obviously there's nothing more. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. It was just really funny. Like she brought back an entire cabinet. Oh, migrants have arrived. Hey up, we got the migrants. We got a thresher called. Wait, what? Wait a minute. That is not a dwarf name. Is that a dwarf? It looks like a dwarf. Oh, this is a historical character. Yeah, it is a dwarf. It's got a weird name though. You don't often see dwarf. Ooh. What? Holy shit! Who is this dwarf? It's just a dwarf called Tolonandil, like a single name dwarf. Usually a dwarf has a first and a last name. Not only that, they've got 9 kills, killed 5 humans, a troll, and 2 goblins, and also a troll. Right, let's have a look at relationships. Holy shit! Look how many gods it has. It has apprentices and a former master. Okay. I am very worried about this dwarf. We will be keeping an eye on it. Let's designate a meeting hall inside, just in a random spot. We're just going to designate this as a temporary meeting hall, so that they stand around in here. I think her last name was removed with a nickname since she's a famous person. She is a famous person. I'm curious to know more about her. We have a few other dwarves who've shown up. None of them look anywhere near as impressive. We've got Kosef here. He is... it looks like we're having a sizable amount. We've got at least one dwarf child here. So yeah, we've got a little bit of a fortress going on. Oh, okay, yeah, this is actually the child of Tolondil. I think actually her husband should be here as well. Or her significant lover. Yeah, so... general information... Okay, then units, yeah. Actually, I want to check that. Who's your lover again? Relationships. Besmar. Is Besmar here? No. Okay. Then who's your father? Rovard. Okay, so your father isn't actually the lover. Okay, yeah. Dwarf Fortress relationships. Also, why is the Thresher like the god of war? Treat the family like nobility. Actually, that's a good point. We should actually check and see if they got any other skills like view units. So general, competent swords dwarf, novice shield user, novice armor user, novice discipline. So that's their combat skills, labor skills. They're an adequate thresher. That's like their only skill. Is like they're decent at threshing. A novice writer as well. So they've also written something in the past. So novice writer, competent poet. Jesus Christ, you don't normally see dwarves like this. Okay, yeah, well, that's a dwarf that we're going to keep an eye on. Saint Ward is honestly the best swordsman nickname ever. Yeah. You don't often see dwarves like that. It's kind of rare, but yeah. Oh, we're also running out of food. I think that's just because I told them to brew all the food, all the drinks. So, oh yeah, they've already finished doing that, so they'll just grab it. Okay, right, we're going to dig out some more areas for them. This is going to be, on this layer here is going to be where we dig out a bedroom area. So we're going to have some beds along here. And I think we can have like 2x2 rooms, right? And just making sure that they're all evenly spaced. It's going to be a little bit of a pain to do, but I just want to make sure that, you know, it's not going to look uneven or anything like that. Oh, okay. We'll do 3x3 rooms. These dwarves are lucky. They're gonna get slightly bigger rooms than usual. 3x2 rooms. Oh, actually, that doesn't work either. Bollocks. Okay, 1, 2. Oh, actually, I got a better way of doing it. Right. We'll give them 3x3 rooms. I'm feeling generous today. This fortress is only a temporary fortress anyway, so. And then we can have offices here. Yeah, so we can have like a. Okay, cool. That works. Like that, and then we've got like small offices on the corners there where we can just stick anybody who needs an office, like our bookkeepers, which we'll soon have, and a manager will have a manager. Yes, they have a shitload of deities as well. You're not wrong about that one. Tulundil, Saint Wald. We'll have to figure out what to do with these dwarves, these new arrivals. But we do have a miller, a thresher, a presser, a dwarf. I think we also got a stoneworker, right? Or was that one of the... Okay, yeah. I'm just worried that this dwarf will turn out to secretly be a necromancer or something weird. We've also got a lot of limonites, which is really nice to see. It's going to be good. We're going to have a lot of easy access to metals. Well, we've got easy access to iron, sorry, which is always good to see. You know, I like to have lots of iron. It's makes a change, shall I say, from the usual state of affairs, which is not having any at all. So that's only there's only 4 bedrooms. It's actually a really inefficient way of building bedrooms, unless we make the smaller ones into bedrooms as well, which we could do. Yeah, sod it. Some dwarves will just have smaller bedrooms. They should have thought about that before they came here. We'll put that there. There, like that. Then let's go up here, and I want to build a... I want to go to the mason's workshop over here, and I want to build a 2 tables and 2 chairs as well. And that's just going to be for our 2 nobles, our bookkeeper and our manager. Makes running this fortress so much easier having a manager. Alright, and then we'll put a bed here, a bed here. We've created a masterpiece rock salt throne, always good to see. So we got some thrones already. And this is, again, this is just going to be, that's just going to be where we put our manager's office. So we need to give them a table and a chair and all that kind of stuff. And scribble on some paper. Tell dwarves what to do. Which dwarf do we want to make our manager then? Usually I just assign like a random dwarf who is absolutely no use to me whatsoever. We do have a number of good candidates for this role. So we had 7 dwarves originally, so we've had 5 arrivals, one of them is a child, so that means we've only had 4 dwarves arrive who are actually useful. One of them is a thresher who is like an amazing swords dwarf. This presser here can be the manager. Yeah. Go to unit. I'm just going to tell this guy that he is not allowed to do any jobs other than just other than hauling. He can continue to haul, but this guy here is going to become our thresher dwarf. It's going to become our manager dwarf. You want to make Talundil every dwarf. Talundil can be our sheriff actually. How about that? Talundil would be a great sheriff, I think. I don't need to make them everything, but they can definitely be the sheriff. So why don't we'll make the presser into the manager, and then we're going to make our sheriff into Talundil. So this guy is going to actually need some stuff. What does he require again? It's been a while since I've even bothered with ooh, he needs a significant amount of stuff. That's fine, we can manage that. But yeah, we need a meager office for our... Yeah, very important person, VIP, gets important room. 100%. First we're just going to give the manager, ooh, I don't want to give him the throne, 2 thrones, he needs to have a table. We're just going to give the manager here his office first, and then that way we can start designating a bunch of orders much more quickly. You know, help us manage the fortress faster. So yeah, this will be the manager's room. And this is just like the kind of shitty little office, and yeah, there we go. And then that means that we can go here and we can just say, okay, I want you to make 20 doors out of rock. I want to have some more beds, so construct 20 beds, and then that'll do. And then we've got some orders set up. We're still okay for plants and food and stuff. We should probably make one of these new arrivals. So we got the sheriff, the manager. We got this guy here, Sigan. Let's view this dwarf here, and I'm thinking we will make this guy into he's a miller, which is not going to be very useful for us. What he's actually going to be doing instead is he's going to be cooking, butchery, and tanning as well. Tanning is the other one he can do. So he's going to be butcher, tanner, and cook, and we're going to set up some stuff for him in order to do that. So we're going to be digging up here, and I think we will continue just down here like this, and yeah. I'm not sure how to do this best actually. Probably to have like a just have everything along here, so have it all in like one place. So kind of like how we got it with the so 1 2 3, then 1 2 3, then 1 2 3, like that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Like that, yeah. How did you know I've been wanting to play Dwarf Fortress recently? I've been streaming Dwarf Fortress for ages, Zenny. How have you not noticed until now? How's it taking you this long to figure this out? I play Dwarf Fortress every Friday, and you didn't notice until now. I'm a big fan of this game. Do you actually play it, Zenny? It's not Friday today, no. We're playing it early because of the release. Zenny, the new update came out today, did you know? I'll talk to you about it later, but yeah, the new update is out. And that's why we're playing today. It's not Friday yet. Alright, let's build some workshops. So we're going to go into our build menu, workshops, and then we're going to build... Yeah, the new update came out today, like, unironically. You picked a great day to get back into it. So yeah, it's a really good day for it. Okay, we got the tanners, we got the butchers, and then we want the kitchen. H. No, K. Oh, nothing is ever what you'd expect it to be. Z for kitchen. Why isn't it K for kitchen? And then over here, we're gonna make a leather stockpile, so we can pull all the leather goods that we make from our from that here, and then we're going to put a custom stockpile, which is going to be food, but it's just going to be meat. Actually, it'll be fat as well. Fat.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for following as well, Zenny. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, we got the dwarf, the butcher, the new butcher. He's never actually done any of that in his life, but he's going to learn how to do it very quickly. And we are going to start butchering some of these animals. We don't need all of these.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the subscription as well, Zenny. If you join the Discord at the bottom, then you should be able to use the you'll be able to use the emotes in like on Discord and stuff like that if you want to. They count as global emotes, so you can use them on Discord and you can also use them on Twitch. But yeah, thanks for the subscription. Alright, so we got that set up there. Tanner's office, butchers, and kitchen. He's going to go and do that. I'm going to have a drink because I'm thirsty as all hell. Okay, and we're also going to tell them to start putting some doors in here. This is going to be miasma central, unfortunately. It's just one of the consequences of... it's just one of the consequences, basically. And we're also going to set this area here. We're going to tell our cats that they have to stay in... We're going to tell one of our cats that they have to stay in this area here. It doesn't matter which one, just any of them. And then we'll have a cat just hanging around inside the meat stockpile, because then they... Alright, I'll use the book. I'll use the money wisely. See, you get a little Dwarf Fortress badge and everything. Next to your name is really cool. Okay, yeah. But yeah, what we're going to have to do, we got to build an important room. We're going to have to build a meeting room for sure. We need to build a meeting room for that dwarf. I'm thinking that what we'll do is we'll have this come down here like that, and then we'll start building some like important annexes and stuff. So what do we need to give our sheriff? Our sheriff needs an office, a quarters, a dining room. So he needs 3 rooms. So what we'll do is we'll build him like a... kind of like a complex here. So this will be like the meeting room here, right? And then we can have like the quarters just coming off here a little bit like that, and then we can have a dining room that just stretches along here a little bit. I don't want it to be too big or anything, but it can be like that, right? So they got a meeting room here where they can have their desk and all that stuff. Then they got a dining room that they can have as well, and they got a bedroom as well. And then that's going to be like an area for them. Actually, what would... yeah, I think that's fine. And then we can have this come down here like that. Like that. We got a lot of dead space there, but we can always fit other rooms into that space if we wanted to. So I'm not going to dig that out just yet. I'm just going to leave that there so I can see kind of where it stretches out to. And this is going to be where our sheriff lives. Our Talondil is going to have their bedroom, quarters, and all that kind of good stuff. We should also build some statues as well. How about we build some rock statues? Just 20 of those. Actually, no, we don't need... Actually, what kind of materials do we have in this fortress? Do we only have rock salt? We don't have marble. No, I didn't see any marble. We could dig down a little bit and see if we could find some, but I don't really want to risk it. I think we'll just make it out of rock salt. But we won't make 20 of them. That's far too many statues. We'll remove that. We'll make statue... Oh, we can make some out of like clay or something like that. Or maybe we could start making some metal statues. Do we have access to sand? Yeah, we've got white sand. We could try and make glass. We could make some glass statues at some point. The other thing that we should do is, as well, is we should set up like a... okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. We need to set up a room for our geese because we do have a shitload of geese walking around outside at the moment. So we're going to set up a room to just put our geese into. So we're going to build a bunch of nest boxes, and this is just going to be the geese storage room where we breed geese in order to have egg production, meat production from them, you know, that kind of good stuff. It's a shame you don't need to use feathers for anything, but I guess we'll also have feathers. Oh, the other thing that we need to do is, as well, before I forget, is really important, is we need to put some... no, where is it? Yeah, there we go. We need to put some levers in the fortress as well. This is just to control the two drawbridges right into the fortress. So I think I'll put... I'm going to put one in each office. I'm going to put one here. And then I'll put the other one here as well. But let's put some doors here. And that's a bed. I don't want to put a bed there. So we want to put a bed in here. This is going to be the quarters. We want to make sure that it's like the highest quality bed that we got. That's a pretty high quality one. Like that. Put some doors here. We're running out of doors very quickly. Damp stone. Oh, is this under the river? Well, wait, no, we don't. Why is this damp? Oh yeah, okay, fine. It's like there's a tiny little bit of water above this, so they're like, oh no, I'm not gonna dig this just in case, even though nothing will happen. Digging anywhere near water is a real pain in the arse. Honestly, it's an absolute nightmare to do. I can't stand it. That's why I don't want to deal with aquifers. One of the reasons, one of the many reasons, just because of the damp stone notifications that you get spammed with. Okay, so hopefully somebody's going to be setting up those mechanisms. Thank you for this resubscription probe as well. I thought you already subscribed. Didn't you like subscribe like a week ago or something? Or am I misremembering it? Oh, you're just spamming me with the notification about resubscribing, apparently. Yeah, you sent it now, and then you sent it like... Oh no, wait. What? You're a grifter. Okay, fair enough. Keep grifting away. Okay, we're going to put the rest of these beds in these rooms here, and this is going to be the start of where our bedrooms are. We're going to put some rock salt doors here. Just, you know, just doors that are just going to be... there we go. Are you without utilities? Yes, we are. We don't have utilities. We do have the graphics pack, but we don't have any utilities. This is the new version, though, so we've got the new version of the Fortress. We're going to put some there, so we're going to have that linked up there. So that one's going to be linked up to the furthest outdoor one. Powerful indeed, yeah. We'll manage, though. We're managing. We want to make some cabinets as well. Let's make like 5 cabinets. Oh, we can make them out of wood actually. Let's make 10 cabinets out of wood, and then let's also construct some doors. We need an armor stand. We'll construct 2 of those. We need a weapon stand, weapon rack. We'll construct 2 of them. We need a rock table, we'll construct 2 of them, and then we need some rock thrones, we'll construct 2 of them as well. So then that's everything that we need for this. Let's assign that bedroom to our sheriff, Tolonda. This dwarf here needs a shed load of stuff. They need to have a modest quarters, modest dining room, modest office. They also need a chest as well. So we actually need to make them a chest. Wooden chest. We'll make a wooden chest. We'll just make 1 wooden chest. Still got plenty of plants. We still got plenty of drinks. We'll send an order to brew drink 10 as well, just so that we got that running in the background. Oh, we could also set... Yeah, we should definitely make some statues. That'll help to increase the value of our fortress as well. So let's make some rock statues as well. Oh, we'll make 4. Hopefully we get some interesting ones. Yeah, that's all ticking along nicely there. Oh, we were going to butcher some animals. I was going to butcher... I don't need this cavi pup. I have no intention of breeding guinea pigs. Let's butcher that, now that we've got our facilities for butchering animals. That guy's going to take the cavi pup. It's starving to death anyway. That's why we butcher it. And the only thing that he got from that was a skull. So I'm just going to tell them to make a totem. And we're just going to make 1 totem. Because then they'll use the skull for something at least. In fact, if we go to our population of dwarves here. We got a crafts dwarf here. In order to keep this as simple as possible, I'm just going to tell him to do every single kind of crafting. So, crafts. He's just going to do all kinds of crafting. Which will include bone crafting as well. I mean, we can't use the skull for anything else other than just making a totem anyway, so we might as well make a totem with it. Okay, so we've got the weapons rack. We have the armor stand. We have a cabinet as well. We need a table and dining room and all that stuff. Oh, whilst our dwarves are waiting, I'm just going to tell them to start smoothing. I've got all my mining dwarves to be set as engravers, so I'm going to tell them to start smoothing down everything in here. Just because it gives them something to do when they're not digging. And eventually they'll be very good at it, and that'll help to give us value in our fortress. So if we check on our nobles now, Talondale has a modest quarter, a meager quarter. Hopefully the weapon rack and armor stand will increase the value of that, but the smoothing will help as well. It'll make it more valuable than it is. Oh, we also need some more yeah, rock pots. We'll make 10 rock pots as well. This dwarf child, I hate having dwarf children in the fortress, honestly. At least it's only 1, right? Like, when it's more than 1, it's annoying, but... This organization, okay. How old is he anyway? 7 years old. So I don't think he can do labours then until he's 12, right? Like, dwarf children stop being children at the age of... have no idea. I can't remember. It's been so long since I had a dwarf child successfully become an adult. Okay, yeah, it's the age of 12. They become adults at the age of 12. So he's still got a little bit to go. He is going to be useful eventually, but for now he's just kind of like a mouth to feed, which is irritating. But hey ho, it is what it is. This miller isn't doing anything. Did I? Oh, I assigned you to be the butcher, didn't I? Yeah, so you should be butchering. This dwarf here was the other new dwarf who arrived. He's the mason, but that's fine. He's like a god tier mason, it seems. So he can just stay a mason. Put a table and chair in there, and that's going to be that'll be the meeting room, and then we'll give him a separate dining room, even though it doesn't really matter. He could have it all in the same place. It doesn't matter. The outpost liaison has arrived. Oh, we don't have a depot. Let's quickly make a trade depot, because trading for some stuff would be really helpful. So if we build a trade depot, we can fit one right in here. Yeah, and we should have a dwarf with the correct labours and able to make that. I know he said that he skipped the site, but he didn't really. The traders are waiting off the side of the map, and they'll arrive on the map if we build the depot fast enough. Okay, so this is going to be the throne room of our sheriff, and we'll make a dining room over in the other one that we're going to give him. So he's got a whole bunch of rooms, and that should hopefully state his desires for things. Then the only thing he needs is a chest, which is H, a container, and a custard apple wood chest in the corner. We got some statues as well. We got a statue of Lorit. This is a well-designed image of Lorit, the deity of trade, wealth, jewels, and mountains, depicted as a male dwarf. So one of our gods is a pretty standard-looking god. We got a designed image of Ostar, the deity of death, depicted as a rotting female dwarf in rock salt, by co-star from Loritinol. Ostar is dead. Well, yeah, of course he's dead. He's the deity of death. And what's this one here? This is a finely crafted salt statue of Tyke's Obeyed sculpture. The item is a finely designed image of Tyke's Obeyed sculpture, the human, and a haunt of steam in rock salt. The haunt of steam is striking down the human. The artwork relates to the killing of the human by a haunt of steam. What? He's being killed by a haunt of steam, apparently, which sounds ominous to say the least. But we're going to put these terrifying statues in the meeting hall and in the dining room of our only significant dwarf in the fortress. I am your liaison from the mountain homes. Let's discuss your situation. He's added information to the civilization screen, so we'll have a look at that in a second. I think a haunt of steam is probably one of the new fun creatures that is in this current version of Dwarf Fortress, but let's have a look and see. Yeah, I want as much. Okay, right. I want them to bring as much wombat leather as they can do. Bring plenty of silk. Bring plenty of cloth as well. Always useful. I don't really need any crafts. That's not useful to me. Metal bars. I don't really need any of those either. Bring anvils. It's always useful if you bring anvils, just in case. And I think that's about it, actually. There's nothing else that I'm after in particular. We can have a look and see what our instruments are. Wow, our instruments have weird names. But other than that, yeah, I think that's about it, right? Okay, we're done. Yeah, so we told him to bring some wombat leather, so hopefully he'll bring some. Because we really need to make some armor out of wombats. And in return, they want leather goods, legwear, crutches, prepared meals, cut gems, tools, bone scepters, blocks, and seeds. And he's going to go. Let's So we've had some news in the world, right? We can see what's going on over here. Something going on here. So someone become the mayor here. The army of Snowdub Tangledoom marched on Omrims. Whose holding does this belong to? Oh, that's part of our civilization. So our civilization got attacked by an army from this guy or from this guy? What? In the early spring of 22, Dothan Minebridge became Holy String of the Sect of Babies. What a name for a religion. Ishar Lacystroked became Holy Sheen of the Girlish Cult, replacing Mebzuth Practiced Bridge. You know what? Fair play. If that's the kind of religions that you guys practice, then, you know, I'm not going to say anything about it. Just going to leave you to it. There's nothing stopping you from playing. Just, you know, give it a go, pro. I'm probably going to wrap this stream up in about 10 minutes or so. But yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of fun. Those religions sound like Mob Psycho high schools. Kind of, yeah. Oh god, it has been a bit laggy though. You can see it, like the FPS counter is like at 8. We're getting some pretty bad frame drops all of a sudden. This was happening earlier, but it went away again. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's when it's loading between the civilization screen and the when it's loading between the civilization screen and when other things are going on. Alright, they can access the depot. We don't really have anything to trade either, which is unfortunate. We did make a totem, I guess. We could sell that. We don't have a broker either. I'm just going to appoint whichever dwarf has got good enough skills. Do we have any dwarfs who've got appraisal, actually? No, he's the only dwarf with any relevant skills, is Kosuth. So Kosuth can be the broker. That will also allow us to see the value. Oh, he doesn't have the appraisal skill. Go on a crusade and cleanse this filth. We might have some of it arrive in our fortress. Like I say, we could have some interesting religions in our own fortress. I'm sure Talondil, our sheriff, will be up for crusading though. Given who's this? This is one of the new arrivals. This dwarf is Kosuth the broker. Oh, that is disgusting. Oh my god, that is awful. I want to expel this dwarf from the fortress immediately just for this. I can't really do it because I only have 12 dwarves, but I want to. Can you see what's on the screen? You can see that, right? His master is an elf poet. He's got a elf poet as his master. Oh my god. What is wrong with you, man? Have some respect. Hey Anubis, welcome back. Merchants are unloading their goods. Yeah, cool. We could do with making something that we could sell. Let's just make. You know what? Why don't we just make some wooden crafts? We can sell those. Rock crafts. We'll just make like 100 rock crafts and then we'll start selling some of them. Yeah, no, that is disgusting though. We got to turn down the elf hate. Yeah, you're probably right. They're not as bad as necromancers. Like, imagine being a necromancer. Honestly, like that's just disgusting. Like the fact that there are necromancers in the world. There are a lot of necromancers in this world, actually, if I have a look at the civilization screen. I set up the world specifically so that there was a lot of necromancers. Imagine being an elven necromancer. Imagine being any kind of necromancer. Like, for example, if we look at our civilization map here, this guy here, this dwarven tower. This is a dwarven necromancer that is set up this tower here, and that's just really disgusting. Because like, why would a dwarf ever need to worry about life and death? You know, that's just like totally undwarvish. That's the kind of thing that humans concern themselves with. Very human ambition. Dwarf just gets on with life. That's one of the things that's good about dwarves. Okay, but never mind that. Okay, I forgot to assign these bedrooms, so I'm just going to quickly free up these bedrooms so that people can claim them if they want to, which will make the dwarves happy. They'll feel good about having bedrooms. And then we will... Oh, I just realised as well that I actually screwed up the placement of the beds in the bedrooms. No, actually it's fine, yeah. No, that's actually correct. I did it properly. Link this to a bridge here. Dates Palm Bridge is the one that we need to link it to. So we've got 2 bridges, we've got everything that we need in order to be able to protect our fortress. We should be safe from a zombie invasion if one occurs. But then again, they might bring some goodies with them. We'll have to wait and see. We could also be invaded by elves. Or, no, not elves, sorry. Where's it? Who's it? Goblins. Okay, and then we assign this one to our sheriff there, to Londil. And then there we go. We fulfilled the requirements of our sheriff, so that sheriff should be happy now. We've also got one more statue. We should probably place that in just like the hallway, something like that. Although it's probably like a really hideous statue. The item is a superiorly designed image of Snang Horror Chanted the Goblin and a human in rock salt by Rig of Stucco Star. The human is striking down Snang Horror Chanted. The artwork relates to the killing of the goblin Snang Horror Chanted by a human in Gravel Cut in the Everseen Kills in the late autumn of 172 during Utok, the Onslaught of Assaulting. The Onslaught of Assaulting, that's a great name for a battle. Yeah, let's put the FTL soundtrack on. I know it's not really appropriate for this, but it's a good soundtrack. Right, oh, I got the kind of aspect ratio muddled up a bit. We got this space over here. I'd probably want to build something over there as well at some point. We also need to make an area for our horses at the moment. We don't have like an enclosure for our horses. So what we need to do is set up a separate enclosure just for our horses. So what we could do actually would be to set one up over here. So yeah, what we could do then would be to have a... Yeah, actually we could do that. We can have it dug out here, right? So you see where there's like, it doesn't have to be a massive passage. Just like a passage over here to, let's say over here, right? Then we can have a horse area over here. Kind of out of the way of the fortress so that we can just have our horses bred kind of down here. But then that way we don't have to worry so much about anything. We're going to have to be careful about this though. Are there any trees that have been... No, we should be fine there, yeah. We can also cut down these trees. If we cut down the trees over here, then that means that there's a lot less risk to our fortress overall. Cutting down trees can create holes in the roof of your fortress. Yeah, no, I set the next soundtrack as the FTL soundtrack because it's a good soundtrack. Though actually, this is the title theme. It's not the Rockman theme. How dare you segregate your horses? I'm not segregating them. I'm just putting them into a safe and secure location. What's wrong with that? I just want them to be. in a safe location so that they're not going to be. That's what all horse segregators say. Hey, look, we got a new migrant wave as well. Hopefully, we got a decent sized one. We got a brewer arriving. What? What? Holy shit! Holy shit, man. Okay. Amzuk's Windy Sniper. Their profession is their profession is Snatcher. They're a Snatcher. Look at all their relationships. Look how many cousins they've got. In fact, one of their cousins is in the fortress. The brewer is coming with us. They've got all these nieces and nephews as well. They've only got one son, an eldest daughter. Good grief! I'd like to see the family tree on this lady. And why is she a snatcher? What has she been snatching? Okay, anybody else arrive? We've got a herbalist, a brewer, a snatcher, a glazer. That's a new one. I've never had that. This must be update. This must be related to the update. A cheesemaker. Yeah, we have a dwarf. She snatches cousins. What else has shown up? A criminal? This guy's just a criminal. This guy's profession is just criminal. He's just a criminal. He's got 5 kids. His wife is a dancer. Showing up as a criminal is a bug. I think that person might be a spy. I think you might be right. I imagine you're probably correct on that one, but still, it's really funny. Like, imagine showing up at the meeting call as the new arrival, and you're like saying, "Okay, what's your profession?" And this guy's like, "Yeah, I used to be a furnace operator." Oh, like actually, you can see here the dancer has shown up as well. So, is he actually a spy? Because her criminal husband is here, with her dancer wife. Yeah, I used to. Yeah. Oh, I steal things for a living. Okay, we've had some amazing dwarfs show up in this fortress. Honestly, we've had some really amazing dwarfs. First, we had Talondil, who we made into our sheriff here. Talondil, if we go to, if we view that unit here, Talondil has killed 9 different creatures, 5 humans, 2 trolls, and 2 goblins. And they're a thresher and a skilled swordsman. Wait, use the justice screen. I don't actually think you can use the justice screen, can you? Can we do it like that? Is it... There are no criminals? Wait, what? There are no criminals. There are no criminals. Yeah, doubt. I seriously doubt this. Well, hold on, I want to know what labours does he have enabled as well. He doesn't have any labours enabled except for healthcare and hauling. So he has nothing enabled. He has no skills enabled other than those. I guess we could put him to work. Why don't we make him our metalsmith? Yeah, you can do all these things here. We need one. Though actually, we do have a furnace operator. You know, no, I love this idea. I love this idea. Why don't we make it? Yeah, we're gonna have the criminal be our metalsmith. Because again, why not? You know, what could possibly go wrong? So let's make some charcoal. We'll make about 20 units of charcoal. I'm just kind of mapping out how I'm going to dig this out, because it's obviously gonna be bigger. But the first thing I want to do is I want to build a new stockpile room so that we can put bars and things in it, and then we can put some other stuff in the stockpile room as well, because the last stockpile is already full. Effectively, I mean, you can see how busy it is. We've also just made it a temporary meeting room. We need to make another dining room, and I'm thinking that we can make the dining room over on this side. It might upset the dwarves who are near it, but honestly, I'm not really that concerned about upsetting them. We'll just make a big dining room over here. Yeah. And that's just going to be like a big meeting room. Oh, the merchants. I forgot about the merchants. Maybe we can still trade with them. Move goods. We should have some crafts now. Crafts. Oh, this just got all sorts of junk in it, but that's fine. We'll just move the whole thing up there. What tile set are you using? Is it updated or are there no new sprites? I'm using Phobos X16. It's not updated. I'm using the current version. I just installed over the top. I mean, so there might be some issues with it. You can, you know, but yeah, it's Phobos. I'll type it in chat for you. Just let me remember how to type it properly. Yeah, there you go, Phobos. That's how you type it. It's Phobos tile set. It's pretty easy to install and set up if you just look for the thread. I think it's on like Dwarf Repository or like Dwarf Utility. You know the website for it. I can't remember what it's called, but it should be on there. And you just set it up the normal way, but there might be problems with it. This fort needs to be known for high quality thongs. I'm not sure that that's really a thing that dwarves are known for. I think that a dwarven thong would probably be studded and menaced with spikes, which is probably not the sort of thing that you're looking for when you're looking for like a comfortable underwear. So possibly not the best thing. Oh bollocks! I just undesignated a whole bunch of that digging space that I wanted to do. Oh, that's fine. I'll just redesignate that real quick. I just wanted to undesignate all the smoothing because I want them to focus on building this first. We'll move that up slightly, like that, and that's going to be the dining room area. Yeah, this one you don't need dwarf hack, DF hack. You can just set it up like you would have done. Well, you know, just following the instructions. But yeah, we're not using any utilities. We don't have dwarf hack, obviously. We don't have dwarven therapist at the moment, but when we do get them, then we'll be moving towards those. But if you have any problems with it, you can message me as well. Just after the stream or whenever. You can message me through Discord if you're on Discord, and I'd be happy to show you how to do it. It's relatively straightforward. I just don't have like the links to hand right now. I don't have it on me because I did this probably about 6 hours ago, something like that. First thing I did when the update came out. I tried to, yeah, okay, actually I just need to get rid of that line there. Perfect. Okay, so they're going to dig that out. That's going to be where our dining room's going to go. It's going to be pretty loud for the dwarves sleeping nearby, but I don't really care about that. They might be upset, but dwarves are usually upset. Dwarves operate best when they're upset. Okay, why don't we make the dwarf snatcher, this snatcher here, who apparently is a fisher. I don't want anybody to be fishing, actually. I don't want dwarves outside this fortress at the moment. So we will go to zoom to dwarf, and we're going to tell him to disable all of his skills. So don't do any of that. You know what, you can actually do... No, don't do anything other than engineering and mechanics, because it's something that I rarely use. That often, other than like loading cage traps, but you can do that, and then you will be our bookkeeper, because we need a bookkeeper. So where is our Snatcher Dwarf? So you require an office, and we've already got a pre-built office for you. Yeah, but I think it's a bug. We reckon it's a bug, because if we go over to the justice screen, it says that there are no criminals. Like, he arrived in the fortress, and he was a criminal. He just, he like declared himself. Hello, it is I. I have arrived at your fortress. I am the renowned criminal, like that. Well, he didn't even announce himself like that. He just was here, and his profession is set to criminal, which is kind of funny. We have one set to Lasher. Sorry, not Lasher, Snatcher. And we had another dwarf arrive who has killed a bunch of humans, which is also really exciting. And they were a thresher, so they, despite the fact that you would think the thresher would be too busy threshing to kill humans, they managed to kill 5 of them, which is pretty impressive. I never saw. Wait, I have. Oh, wait. Are these guys already leaving? Ah, bollocks. We missed them. Yeah, we just missed them. Okay, hopefully then that means that they'll grab the finished goods, because that had the nest boxes in it. But we won't be able to trade with them today. Can you check to see what his sneaking skill is? Yeah, sure. I think we can check that, can't we? The criminal or the snatcher? I'll check I'll check both of them. View units, then general. He's a legendary tracker, novice climber, competent mace dwarf. You can see his skills here on the side. I've just enabled all of them. He's a novice in the Knowing Library, which is a form of poetry. Legendary tracker, though. That's pretty interesting. What about our Snatcher friend? What skills does our Snatcher friend have? Competent spear dwarf, great tracker, novice fish dissector, bunch of poetry skills. Yeah, they don't seem to have any kind of like... whatever. Yeah, there you go. That's a different skill, isn't it? Tracking is a different skill than that, isn't it? I mean, we could do. For sure, we could send them into like I don't know, like into the necromancer. Well, actually, I'm not ever going to send anyone into a necromancer tower to steal artifacts. That is dangerous. That is a really dangerous thing to do, because they might bring something back that is you would rather your dwarves didn't read. Yeah, no, Tracker is a skill that is only used in Scholars and also Adventure mode. So it's entirely useless in Dwarf Fortress mode. It actually wouldn't make him any better at invading a fortress or anything like that. The skill that makes him better at it, I can't remember what it's called. I used to know this. It's not Tracker. It's it's a ranger skill. Ambusher. Ambusher is the skill that's important. So if they got a really high ambusher skill, then that makes them better at it. But Tracker is only used in that. Okay, so they're digging that out. They're digging out a whole bunch of stuff. We still got plenty of food, although we're kind of looking a bit low on food. Brew drinks from plants. Let's brew another 20. We need to set our bookkeeper as well settings and tell him to do highest predictions, highest counts possible, and we then need to assign them into their own office. So throne room of study, and we'll assign that to our snatcher here. There we go. So they've now got that. The music stopped, hasn't it? Oh no, it's just really quiet. Yeah, ambusher. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so we've actually got our furnace set up, and we should have made some charcoal as well. Yeah, we've made a decent amount of charcoal. I'm thinking then what we're going to start doing is we're going to smelt some limonite, and we're just going to tell him to smelt that infinitely, right? We're just going to smelt as much of that as we can. So we'll make a stockpile over here for bars. In fact, we'll do a custom one. We'll have two different stockpiles. One will be a bar stockpile for metal, and the other one will then be for coal, or, you know, yeah, coal. So block up and then permit. So we'll make a bar stockpile that stretches out like that. Then we'll make a similar one that is. Oh wait, actually, that's not a bar stockpile. Actually, shit. That's also got food enabled. Okay, I don't want them to put food in the bar stockpile. Then we'll do that here, and then we're gonna put a lock that, and then enable. Yeah, you know what? We'll just permit all other kinds of bars. I mean, if they put bars of soap there, that's fine as well. We don't have any in the fortress. Our dwarves are not cleanly at all. Very smelly. So then they have a space to put that. They'll put the charcoal over there, which is going to be good. And they're going to start smelting down some of the limonites, which we got plenty of. We got a lot of limonites in the fortress. And we're going to start making some iron tables, I think. Yeah, we got so much iron. Why don't we make an entire... No, actually, we need to dig down. We need to dig deeper into our fortress to see whether we can find anything that is any other materials that would be useful. What do you reckon? Maybe we can find like zinc or brass or some other ridiculous metal that will just help us to... Just anything that we can make, like anything that we can make a really fancy looking, anything that we can make a really fancy looking dining room out of is what I'm after. Hopefully, oh, marble. We've got marble. That's cool. I just got an announcement that dwarf has become a snatcher, which is good to see. And we discovered the caverns. Okay, so we found the caverns. Right, let's cancel that dig. Right there, where it is at the moment. So we got a pretty open cavern, actually. Not a very claustrophobic one. I'm not seeing anything, though, in terms of like metals or anything like that. We've got various amount of gems. There's tourmalines there. Rose quartz here. Though actually, if we got marble, which is flux, right? Marble is a flux stone, I think. I'm trying to remember. It's not often that I get you know, the times when you get steel are few and far between, it seems. It's yeah, it's a flux stone, which means that we can make steel. We have access to steel, which is going to be great. We can make steel tables. We should probably reserve the steel for armor, but nevertheless, we do have access to steel for tables as well, if we so desire. We need to cap this off as well to make sure that nothing can climb into the fortress from here. Okay, we'll just do it here. So we just mine up in that direction. Build a J staircase down there. Yeah, marble is flux, yeah. I have trouble remembering which stones are which. So I always have to check. It's like one of the bad things. I have a pretty bad memory for like that kind of stuff. So like whenever I start a fortress, I'll be like, oh, Galena, what's that an ore of? I have to then check and find out. And then it's like, oh, that's silver and lead. I remember one fortress. One fortress had so much galena just in the fortress that I started making pots out of lead, mostly for my own amusement. Like just the image of these dwarves drinking from these massive ceremonial pots made out of lead was kind of amusing to me. But it was actually really dumb. It was like a really bad thing to do because the dwarves would like haul these massive pots full of like wine up and down staircases, and the pots were made out of lead, so they were really, really heavy, and it took dwarves like years to bring like a pot of wine from the top of the fortress to the bottom of it, where like the magma forges were. So yeah, sometimes you can do a funny thing, or you know, sometimes you can do a stupid thing, and you know, you have to be kind of careful about that. We'll just use the marble that's nearby to make that floor, and that's just to prevent anything from crawling up this staircase into the there. Yeah, we are making charcoal still. It looks like he's used all of the charcoal that we have But we should have some steel now, right? Stocks. Is it under bars? We have 20 bars of iron already. So to make a table out of iron is to take 3 bars of iron. How much limonite? How much ore do we get when we process it? Oh, okay. So each one produces 4, which actually means that making tables out of iron isn't too bad. We should have enough for it. So we could actually, yeah, we can make a dining room with iron stuff in it. We could maybe make some iron statues, although they'll be really bad statues. But the only way that our dwarf will ever become good at crafting stuff. Oh, actually, we need to go through here because I had a farmer as well who had some temporary skills in iron making, and I don't want him to. I want him to not do that anymore. Labours, yeah, you are not allowed to be a metalsmith anymore. I'd rather have a dedicated metalsmith. Somebody who's just kind of like the metalsmithing expert. So why don't we make some statues out of iron? We can make a handful of iron statues, and that will increase the value of the fortress significantly. Or no, we can make tables. Oh, I don't know what to do. Let's make some iron thrones. How about that? We'll make 10 iron thrones. There we go. That'll be 30 bars of iron. There's a lot of iron to use in order to make some thrones, but we got plenty more iron. I'm confident that we'll have plenty more iron, so not too concerned about that. In fact, we'll start mining some more out. So let's dig this all out here like that. Automatic gems there, and I'm just going to dig that out there as well. Yeah. Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're not going to screw up the staircase. We've got another staircase leading down this side as well. So we actually have 2 staircases along here. So we'll dig this out here, and then we'll dig this out along that, like that. Then once our miners are done carving, yeah, they'll come and do that, which will be pretty cool. Oh, I dropped my keyboard. And then we can start making some picks, maybe have some other miners doing stuff as well. You can also just whack an upstairs there, and it would effectively block off the lower portions. Really? I've always done it this way, like, it's just the way that I've come to do it. But yeah, I imagine there are more effective and efficient ways of setting that kind of stuff up. Oh, the other thing that I've forgotten as well is the nest boxes. I need to place those as well. Right. Nest box 1, nest box 2, nest box 3, next. Yeah. So now we're finally going to start getting some eggs in our fortress. One of the things I kind of hate about breaching the caverns is how untidy it makes the fortress look. I mean, we had this kind of beautiful sand floor, and now it's just getting ruined by this disgusting cave moss that's going to grow everywhere and make our fortress look like dirt. We need a temple, test out that new stuff. Oh yeah, we do as well. I was kind of hoping though we'd get petitioned. I was waiting to see whether we'd get petitioned to make a temple, because isn't that supposed to be how it works now? Like you, when there's enough dwarves, they'll petition you and they'll be like, "Hey, there's enough worshippers in the fortress that we demand a temple." I thought that was how it worked now, but I could be wrong. Or should we just build a temple anyway? I guess we could build like a general temple to the gods. We could build a temple somewhere. I don't know where we'll build it though. We'll need some statues and other things in it though. Really? If you get a priest, would you name it after you? Sure, though I haven't named anybody in this fortress because, like, this fortress is not going to be one we stick with. We're not going to stick with it in the future. We'll definitely continue with it, but when a stable version of this update comes out, we'll start again on the stable one, because this is just kind of to test some stuff out and to see what we can do with it. Although, to be honest, it's been a lot more interesting than I thought it would be. Like, like, we've had some interesting dwarves show up, undeniably so. Do we have some animals that I can butcher? I do want to just butcher this buffalo calf because it's going to starve to death anyway. We also have some puppies and some kittens we could butcher, but we'll butcher just that for now. We're also going to tell them to start making some fine meals. Prepare 20 of those, and then if we go to our kitchen, don't cook plum helmets, never cook plum helmets. They can cook all the different kinds of wine, and you can cook goose eggs as well, that's fine. I'm sad I don't know what's up with that. I'm pretty sure it's just the book. He probably isn't a criminal. He's probably just a historical figure who has a profession from being a historical figure, right? Which would also be why he has like a load of ambusher skill. And he's not really a criminal, he's just named a criminal. Like, that's just his profession, his like historical profession, if that makes sense. So he's not really a criminal, right? I don't think he is actually a spy or anything like that. I mean, he could be. I could be totally misreading it, but I don't think that he is. So we'll see anyway. Maybe we could build a temple here. Maybe we could build like a temple amidst the mines. We could like fill in one of these gaps here and stick a temple in it. I actually kind of like the idea. I know it'll look... So we could like block off of this here, right? And then this being like a temple to a god, and then we could fill all the other gaps where we could fill all the other gaps in with temples as well. So this could be like one temple to a god, just like a small temple, or maybe even a bigger temple. Like that could be like a massive temple to just a god, like in this gap, and yeah, we could have that. Then maybe we could have like a tavern in one of these gaps as well or something. I think that'd be kind of cool actually to do. Maybe in this gap here we could have it. We could dig it here, like that. Yeah, I actually kind of like this idea. It's kind of daft, but it allows us to use this space. And then we could kind of decorate it, and make it look kind of weird and kind of misshapen and mysterious in a kind of Dwarf Fortress style way. So yeah, why don't we make this into like a temple, right? We can dig this out here, and this could be like a temple room, just to the north here, and we could dig out. Maybe dig it out like that. I think that looks kind of cool. I don't know about you guys. I've heard 5x5 is ideal for dancers. Well, if we make it big enough, if we make it this big, there's no way that we don't have enough space for dancing in here. So there'll be plenty of room for the dwarves to dance in here if they want to. They also want some more barrels. Let's make some more barrels. We'll make 20 wooden barrels as well, because why not? Oh yeah, we also need a tavern as well. We could have the tavern next door, right? We could have the tavern be like right here, and it could be the same sort of shape, right? So like a really sort of weird, misshapen dwarf tavern, like a tavern that only a dwarf could love. I like how the tavern's going to be bigger than the temple, obviously. I mean, you gotta get your priorities right. Something like that. I think that'll look really weird and cool. I want to build more kind of irregular shapes in Dwarf Fortress instead of just doing like squares, square buildings all the time. So yeah. Have we run out of charcoal? Let's make more charcoal. Let's just make 30 charcoal, and we could probably make more than that, to be honest, but just constantly making iron, constantly making charcoal. We're constructing thrones made out of iron, so we've already got a bunch of iron thrones. So we can set up, this will just be a regular dining room. So you'll have a couple here. Like that. Why not just make a repeating order for charcoal? I don't know. I always kind of just do it this way. I'm kind of set in my way. I like to get an idea of how much stuff has been made. So I like to just like check every so often and see what's being made. It helps me keep it in kind of my head how much of what has been made, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's just kind of how I do it. It's not terribly efficient, but I'm not a terribly efficient person. Let's make some rock tables as well, because I know that we don't have any of those. I'll just make 20 of those. And we'll make the tables out of rock, though they can sit on some iron thrones in this dining room here. It'd be nice if we could have some like other metals though, like brass would be cool. Brass is an interesting metal. Or platinum, silver, gold, any number of things. We do have some doors, I believe. Yes, we did. So we'll set up some doors here, and we'll set up a door here as well. So the top one's just going to be a temple. I'm not sure what we're going to put in it, honestly, though we will carve out all the flooring in the temple as well, so that it's you know, nice and neat and that kind of stuff. We've also found some more limonite here, which is pretty interesting. He's created a masterpiece wooden barrel. Oh, we haven't had an artifact yet, have we? We're due to have an artifact pretty soon, I reckon. What season is it at the moment as well? I haven't seen the season. Where is it again? Where's my calendar? Normally it says at the top, but I don't see it at the top for some reason. Unless I'm missing it. Hey. Yeah, announcements. Yeah, that's correct. Moonstone, 10th Moonstone. Only winter. Yeah, Moonstone's winter. So we are kind of due to have. We could have like a goblin invasion soon. No, not goblin. Necromancer invasion possibly. There's a distinct possibility. So yeah, we'll have. We don't want to have. Okay, we don't want to have any statues in our temple, but we'll start by this is the only thing that's really a pain in the arse, is like designating an activity zone for it. Alright, right. I wish there was an easy... There's probably an easy way of doing this. Someone's probably telling me that there is an easy way. Oh really? Can you do that? I didn't know you could do that with activity zones. Hold on, we'll try that then. Right, we'll try that. So where is it then? Oh, okay, flow, right. Ah, okay, I didn't know you could do that. You learn something new every day. So this is going to be a meeting area, assign location. We're going to add a location, and then we're going to make this into a temple. You can already see, by the way, Craft Guild Hall is a new one. Oh, God, what are these ones? So are these like religions? Are the ones in... The ones in brown, like, religions then, right? That's what they are. So we've got a bunch of religions of some description. We got a lot of different gods. 10 dwarves in our fortress worship Ostar, the god of death. There's Thol, the labyrinthian hole, the god of mist. There is Okosh, Rule Call, the god of victory, 12 dwarves. This god, who has got the most inspiring name of any god that I've ever seen, Eagle Standgold, the awe-inspiring yearly of breaches. And then there's Rorung, the god of art, beauty, and hospitality. Isram, the god of oh god. The god of silence. That is ominous. We've also got a god of nightmares, the night, and dreams. One worshipper. Zalad, the god of fertility. Az, the god of metals. Yorim, hailed knighted, the god of fortresses and war. Yeah, there's a lot more variety in terms of gods. Now, there's a god here of painting, inspirations, and the moon. The Creed of Deeps, a god of painting, and yeah. And then there's Bishab the Rapid. I think we're going to dedicate this to Okash Rule Called, the god of victory. Because I want to dedicate it to a specific god so that we can see whether there's like a specific thing to go with that. So this is the Shrine of Quests. Let's have a look at the location details. So it's dedicated to Okosh Rule Called. It's currently a shrine. It doesn't have enough value to be anything other than a shrine. We can assign a performer, but it doesn't look like we can assign a. It doesn't look like we can assign a. Doesn't look like we can assign. Doesn't look. Oh god! It doesn't look like we can assign a priest. So I think that's something that we have to wait until they petition us for. But we'll start by putting some containers in there. We need to make some. We'll make some iron chests. We'll make. I'll make 4 of those. 4 iron chests. We're still making iron thrones. We're still smelting limonite and. Oh, we need to get some of these useless dwarves to do something. This cheesemaker here, for example, he hasn't done anything since he's gone here. View unit. Thoughts. Yeah, you can just be a you can just do any kind of farming, anything to do with farming. I don't care what it is. You're just farming now. So long as you're not doing. That means he'll also be wood cutting, which is what I want him to do. I need to make another wood furnace. So that we can smelt more charcoal faster. And we'll make it out of rock salt. There we go. Just so we've got plenty of charcoal. Because we've got loads of iron bars at the moment, it's just the charcoal that's kind of limiting us. We're not making enough charcoal fast enough. Have we got enough wood as well? Yeah, there's plenty of wood on the surface. We'll, Oh, we were going to make an area for our, we're going to make an area for our horses as well, weren't we? We're going to segregate away our horses. Like the filthy horse segregationist that I am. So let's tell the dwarf to cut down those trees over there, and then we'll create a pen over here for our horses. Would be the idea. It doesn't need to be massive, but just kind of like a perimeter wall here. And then that way we have a place for our horses to just be, and we can also put other animals here as well. Like it's just a pasture for our, well, yeah, precisely actually for just for any of our animals that we got. I'm quite liking this fortress, to be honest. It's a pretty interesting fortress. I do like the way that we're designing things as well. We do need to make some tables, which we've got now. Yeah, we can probably designate this as a dining room pretty soon. We've got basically everything that we need in here. Just need to set up some doors and then we'll set this all up as a dining room. It's not a very spectacular dining room, but it's a start, right? Like we're making some more rock tables. We're going to make some iron chests and some iron thrones as well for them, which, you know, they love. Big fans of the iron thrones. And then actually, when we get an artifact, we can put the artifact in here as well. She felt euphoric and she felt wonder after being able to communicate with Oakish rule called. Annoyed after having to drink without using the goblets. But yeah, we should be able to have sermons and things as well, right? I guess that's something that we get when we got a priest to give sermons. Okay, we still need more coal. We're just making charcoal as fast as we can. Maybe we need to make it. We could probably perhaps even make a third smelter. Just start having this dug out. Like that. Yeah, they're digging that out there. Our woodcutter hasn't cut down these trees yet. He's too busy constructing buildings. I wish I had Dwarf Therapist. This would make this so much easier. Okay, but we've got plenty of tables in here, and now we can designate this as a dining room. So let's do that. So that the dwarves have, like, they now have a common area in which to eat, and this will just be a meeting hall. Right, that's there, and then we'll put a food stockpile just down the middle. So they got food in here as well. They should move food into there, any excess food, and then they should hopefully have food there. And then we will just undesignate this, because this was a temporary zone that we set up, just to be a temporary meeting area. But now that they have a dedicated dining room, that should hopefully make them feel better. And we also probably want some wooden chests, maybe? Let's make 2 of those. We also need to make some mugs, actually, rock mugs. Let's make 30 of those. And then we just got plenty of mugs for them to drink from, which will make them feel better. And you can see them just moving food down already. Perfect. We're kind of running low on plants, but that's fine. We are preparing fine meals still. Animals. We don't have any that we could butcher yet. We can butcher this drake. Yeah, we're not going to breed that drake. We'll butcher it. We've already got geese. Why would we need ducks? And I think some people would fancy some duck meat, right? Dwarven wine, just dwarven wine, just all the way down the middle of this. We haven't moved any food down here, which is kind of interesting. What tile set is this? It's Phobos tile set here. I'll type it into the chat for you. That's the name of the tile set. It's times 16 tile set. Yeah, no worries. It's a pretty popular tile set. I see it a decent amount when I can see people streaming this game, for example. Let's move all this stone down here as well. Yeah, no worries. We're probably going to wrap up the stream in a little bit. But we made some good progress. So we've also created our iron thrones, which is always good to see. So we've got plenty of iron thrones available now. So yeah, we've got a dining room now. We've got a place for them to do that. We're going to have our miners come back and start engraving the walls again. We do have some more useless dwarves who are just not doing anything. Like this herbalist, for example, he's just kind of around. He can have farming disabled. I don't need him to farm. But how about we give him stoneworking and just woodworking, and then he's at least doing something useful, right? I think stoneworking improves stone detailing. Yeah, okay. So he's going to do that, and then he's going to actually do something useful. Okay, but yeah, our fortress is coming on fine. It's weird that we haven't had a strange mood in a while. We haven't had a strange mood yet. That's the only thing that's kind of weird. We just haven't had one of those. We're making some iron chests. We're making some wooden chests. We will put ourselves a iron chest into this here. We'll just stick it at the side here. We're going to stick a wooden chest, a couple of wooden chests in the over here as well when those are built. Do we have another dwarf that we could assign to just being like we have a potash maker, for example. Potash making is a useless skill, or at least not particularly useful here, so we're going to tell him to not do that. He's got blacksmithing enabled though. He can do all kinds of blacksmithing, and we will tell him not to do any crafts, and then he's just going to be a metalsmith. Oh, we could give all these dwarves cabinets as well. I made them cabinets ages ago. Never gave them cabinets. I'll make them happy, or at least the ones lucky enough to have bedrooms happy. We've got so many dwarves that just don't have bedrooms still. Oh, there's so much that needs to be done in this fortress. I wonder how much the iron chest is going to increase the value of it. Is it a valuable iron chest that we've got? The other thing that we need to do is make some instruments as well. We need to make some instruments. So why don't we have a check over on our carpenter crafts dwarf workshops? So we actually can't find out. So in Dwarf Fortress, instruments are sorry, yeah, instruments are procedurally generated. So like they don't have guitars, for example, or they don't have drums. They have procedurally generated instruments, and it's different depending on like which civilization you're a part of. So for example, we have two different procedurally generated instruments here that we could make. We can make nekeks, which are mid-sized handheld percussion instruments. It consists of a bone bowl. The musician strikes the bowl. If that requires bone, we can't really make that. Getting access to bone is a pain in the arse. This one here is a cylindrical ball wooden wind instrument. So we're going to make some kickox. So I'm just going to cancel that because I'm going to do it from the manager menu. But kickox, we're going to make some of those. We will make 30 of them, and then we've just got a stack of instruments that we can put in our shrines and things like that. And that'll make the dwarves happy. It'll give them something to do. Although there are dwarves sleeping in our shrine, the Shrine of Quests, as it's called. The value has the value gone up? It's like 400 before. Now it's got the iron chest in it. It's now 592. We got to put a lot of stuff in here in order for it to become valuable. We made another iron chest. Yeah, we'll just stick another iron chest in here. We'll put 3 iron chests in, and then we've got a spare iron chest once we've finished building it. Our metalsmith isn't actually very good at metalsmithing yet. What we really need to do is like engrave it all, and that will massively increase the value of the shrine, is just having engravings in there. But at the moment I want my dwarves to level up their skills at it, so we're just telling them to smooth. Although this dwarf here, this one here, is actually very good at it. Kokush the broker, he is very good at this. I wonder what his skills are. General, detailing. He's a novice wordsmith. Oh, he's a legendary engraver. Oh, okay, we've got a legendary engraver, and he's also a legendary mason. Ah, okay, that's actually really good. It means that he is going to just be like extraordinarily fast at engraving stuff. You can see how fast he is compared to our miners. So he takes seconds to do it. So that is really useful, and you can see him going at it. compared to our miner up here, who's just you know, slowly ticking along. The expedition leader will get better at it over time. I think he probably already has a little bit. He's a proficient engraver, so he's already gotten better at it. I think he started as a novice one. It takes a long time to train engraving, though. It's a very intensive skill to train. It does mean as well that if we then have our legendary engraver actually engrave things, then the value of those engravings will be really high. So why don't we tell him to start engraving... what I'll do in here, I think what we'll do is we'll only engrave the floor. And then that will... Sorry, we'll only smooth and then engrave the floor. So we'll just have the walls will be kind of like natural rock walls, but the floor itself will be all engraved, and that'll look really cool. So yeah, I think that's all the squares. Yeah, it looks like we've got all the squares in there. So they're just going to engrave all the floor in there. And then that'll look like a really neat sort of space for us to have a... yeah, we've got the last iron chest here as well. So we've got all of our iron chests in there. Do we have any of those egogs yet? No, we don't. I want to max prioritize that. They're probably focusing more on making rock crafts. Oh god, we've had this rock crafts task going for ages. We don't need that many rock crafts, actually. We've got plenty of stuff we can sell when we need to sell it, which is good. So if we look over here in our finished goods stockpile, we can just look at one of these bins. Yeah, look how many rock crafts we got in this like amulets. There's a figure of Dumat's rope glass. I don't know who that is. Masterful rock salt figurine of Dumat's roped glass, created by Reg Aragnol. It's a masterfully designed image of a dwarf and a dog. The dog is striking down the dwarf. The artwork relates to the killing of the dwarf, forlorn zombie. Oh wait, it's a zombie dwarf being killed by a dog, which is a pretty interesting figurine. Here we've got an image of here we got a figurine of a previous king. We got a figurine of one of the gods worshipped here. We got a figurine of a hamster. So that's always interesting to see. Oh, we can make some more bins as well, actually. Let's make some more wooden bins. Just make 20 of those. You can't have too many bins, basically. It's impossible. Right, is that tree cut down? Yes, it is. So that means that we can then... there's just so much to do. It never ends in this game. Just always have stuff I need to just constantly be doing. One of the things I like about it, honestly, but it's also... you just never run out of things that you need to do. I'm going to get rid of the up ramps over here. We're just telling them to construct this wall outside. We need to... It's not secure. It's going to be... It's still going to be dangerous because stuff will be able to jump down here and potentially harass and kill our horses. But it's more safe than where the horses currently are. So that's kind of why we're doing it here. All right, they're engraving all of that. They're getting pretty close to being done up here. This isn't engravings. This is just smoothing the, smoothing the stone and all that kind of stuff. But it's starting to look good. Starting to look great. They haven't started down here yet, but they'll get started on that eventually. If we check this, what's the shrine worth at the moment? It can't be worth that much still. 892. It hasn't got any instruments in it yet. We still haven't made any Kigogs. We haven't had any announcements about that, right? We haven't been told that we can't make any Kigogs. Cancels construct building. Cancels making fine meals. That's fine. They'll keep cancelling that for ages. No, they should be able to do it then. What's the hold up on it? Okay, yeah, we got a dwarf currently making a Kigog over here out of some wood. So we're going to get our first instrument for our temple. I wonder if we had anything else on the justice screen. I don't think there's been any crimes. No, there hasn't. Our fortress is still kind of small. It's currently midwinter. We're kind of close to the end of winter, so we'll probably, we'll get... Oh, we also need to move over there. We'll get like maybe some nasty stuff happening in spring or summer. Oh, an axe dwarf has shown up. I wonder why. Probably to harass me about going into the caverns. That's usually what they want. Maybe possibly to go to our temple. Maybe they're visiting the temple that we've made. Which is not a very... it's not a great temple by any stretch, but it's a temple. Just moving out the stone in there, making it slightly more valuable. We put our first instrument in there, so we got some instruments in there. I think that's the only one we got in here, right? I always forget how to view inside things sometimes. Like, is it K? K. No, it's Q, isn't it? No, it's not. It's U. No, it's V. No, it's T. Yeah, it's T. Yeah, we got a couple of Kigogs in here, so hopefully we'll see some dwarves using some Kigogs. Maybe we need to assign a performer, actually. What's the dancer dwarf we got doing here? We got this dwarf here who's a designated dancer, and I don't think that they're ever doing anything at the moment. They are currently got enabled hunting. No, I don't like my dwarves ever hunting. It's awful. Yeah, you know what? You can be a dancer. We're going to assign you to be a performer in here. In the Shrine of Quests. So if we go here, then we can assign that, and then we'll assign that dancer dwarf to be the performer. Where is it? A herbalist, peasant, dancer, right at the bottom. So we got a performer in here, so she's going to hopefully do some dancing to make everybody feel good. Alright, but the fortress is coming along nicely. I think this was a good show of what's kind of going on. We still got a little bit to go before we really see any of these new features in action. And we haven't had the goblin, we haven't had the necromancer invasion yet. We are currently next to a necromancer. You keep DCing from chat? That might be... If you've been sending messages, I haven't seen them. I think the last message that I saw is the one that's on screen on the stream. But I haven't seen, if you've been trying to type anything, I haven't really seen it. I'm not sure if that's just on your end or if it's on Twitch's end or something like that. And here we go, we've got our first monster slayer. We're going to tell him to get stuffed. I don't want any monster slayers in my fortress at the moment. Fair enough. I love watching the progress of the master engraver versus the peasant engravers, the proficient engravers. Like, he does it so fast compared to them, it's ridiculous. Like, just the difference in speed, and he's going to get it done in seconds basically. And then after that we can tell him to actually make some carvings in here, which would be really cool. But yeah, we've got a very good, this should be a pretty valuable dining room over here. So we got that set up. We do need to set up some more. After we've done all the engraving, we'll start building some more bedrooms. We also need to set up some... Yeah, we need to set up probably a perimeter floor all the way around here. This is just going to be to protect the horses, basically. It'll make sense, trust me. But it's going to take us a while to build the structure, and then we'll have our horses all in here, and that way the horses can be outside, and you know they'll be protected. I know we can build them inside. We could build like an indoor enclosure, but I kind of prefer this sort of thing. Thank you for the following anyway, Martin DZX. I'm downloading in the background, but it's usually literally nothing of my internet. Maybe because I'm playing BF at the same time. It could be something like that, yeah. I think this update's a bit sluggish sometimes. I've had some kind of like... I've had a couple of moments where it's been really hanging up on me, if that makes sense. Like, it's just really slowed down, but I don't know. Okay, so we're making that around there, and then once they've done that, we'll build some more walls. Protect our horses. Okay, they've almost finished engraving that. How are we doing for food? We're doing okay for food, we're not doing brilliantly. Do you play CDDA? I know of it. I know of it. I've never played it myself. I don't know how to play it myself. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not. I have no idea how to play that game at all. It's a game that I'd like to try someday. I just have no idea how to get into it. I know people who play it. Like I know DDR Jake plays it. I've seen him play it before. It's a game I'd like to get into someday, but I felt like Dwarf Fortress was harder to learn. I've played Dwarf Fortress for years though. Like I can't remember when I first started playing Dwarf Fortress, but I just know that I've played it for years. So like. For me, a lot of the stuff that I know about playing Dwarf Fortress, I just know at this point. It's all kind of muscle memory, you know, like I don't have to think about it. I played enough Dwarf Fortress that I've gotten past a lot of those hurdles, the early game hurdles, which is good. I just, you know, it is something I did when I was a lot younger, when I first got into it. Also, our current engraver is carving masterpieces all over the floor here. Mostly images of dwarves being killed, I think. Yeah, actually all of these are images of people being killed. Still, I'll have to try some. I definitely will give it a go sometime, I'm just not sure when. Maybe I'll stream it as well. I haven't really been streaming very often, I haven't done the usual kind of streams that I do. So I've been playing a lot of Dwarf Fortress, but I haven't been doing any of the other things that I usually do for streaming, which is kind of bad, but I need to get on top of it. I usually do some like news streams. I talk about like UK news, is something I usually stream, and then I just play other games as well. So I played a lot of Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, some like grand strategy games and that sort of thing, but I haven't really done any of that. I'm supposed to be playing Civilization 6 with some people at some point, but I don't know when that's going to be. But I might be streaming Civilization 6 against some other streamers, and we'll see how well I do at that. Probably pretty bad, because it's been years since I played that game. I haven't played that game since it came out. I don't know how to play it, but we'll see. It's kind of hard to tell what is and isn't engraved here. Most of it just looks like it's the same colour. This tile set isn't very distinct for engravings, unfortunately. I can kind of see it, it's kind of more reddish colour. I think on certain floors it's a bit more noticeable, but on like rock salt it isn't. Rock salt is a weird sort of stone as well. This whole fortress is made out of salt as well. Okay, yeah, honestly I haven't either, it's not very good news at the moment. Is Brexit tomorrow? Kind of tomorrow. Nothing's going to change tomorrow. Sorry, it's supposed to be on Friday, yeah. So yeah, tomorrow will be Friday because it's like 2 o'clock in the morning in the UK. No, yeah, it's supposed to be on Friday, but it's not. It's not really Brexit, and nothing's going to change until December. That's when it's going to be an actual thing. Anyway, enough about that. Let's have a look at our shrine. I think that will have made our shrine a lot more valuable than it was. Ah, there we go. Look, we've actually increased the value of the shrine so much that it's actually now a temple. So we've increased the value enough for it to become a temple. Although it's still called the Shrine of Quests. I wonder if there's anything else we can do with it. We haven't been asked to add a priest or anything yet. I hope we do get that at some point. But yeah, we can see all the detailed floors and stuff. Like we got this one as a rendition of the image of our dwarven civilization. Another image of something being killed by something else. There's a lot of images like that. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it here. I've been streaming for 3 hours, which is a bit longer than I was expecting, to be honest. Thanks everybody for watching, and thank you to everybody who subscribed today, and also to everybody who followed today. I hope I'll see you again for another stream in the future. It's it's always appreciated. It makes it worth doing. The people enjoy this stuff enough that they want to stick around and watch more of it. So I hope I'll see you guys again later in the future. And,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for that. A Rain Dog too. Thank you for following as well. I appreciate it. That's a good Twitch name. Alright, yeah, no, I'll see you around. We'll definitely play Dwarf Fortress on Friday. We might play it again tomorrow, or we might do something else on tomorrow instead. I haven't really decided what we'll do, but we'll do something. But yeah, thanks everybody who's watched, and I'm gonna just find somebody to raid because I haven't raided anybody, and I'm gonna raid a friend of mine. I think somebody who actually usually is around in the channel as well, someone who actually hangs out in the chat, which is always nice of them to do. So I'm gonna give them a quick raid, and I'm sure that they'll appreciate that, and hopefully you'll enjoy their content as well. But yeah, I'll see you guys again later, and have a nice day. Alright, I have to wait until this raid's ready, don't I? There we go. Alright, see you guys later, and have a good one.